announcements late today due to committees meetings running over. We're going to have 10 minutes of announcements till 7 o'clock and then turn it over to Pat Nolan and then the council meeting. So we'll start with Council Member O'Connell. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem. Just wanted to make a quick announcement. I was honored yesterday to be able to participate in the ribbon cutting for the National Museum of African American Music, joined by council members Hurt and Vercher, as well as Governor Lee. This extraordinary new museum is going to be another thing that draws people from all over the world to Nashville. I'm excited for it to finally have reached the end of a long journey, but you can actually now get tickets. For booking, it's very limited because of COVID-19 protocols, but you can look at the schedule, visit nmaam.org. They're calling it NAMAM for short, but nmaam.org, you can find tickets right there on the front page. I also recommend joining the museum. Remember, your early membership in this first year of their existence, especially as they start, in a year of a global pandemic, is going to be one of those critical things to sustain the museum over the long haul. So if you are in a position to be able to comfortably do so, this is a great opportunity to support this wonderful new addition to Nashville's cultural landscape. Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem.
Thanks. Councilmember Porterfield next.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Pro Tem. I do have a few very brief announcements. Thursday, Councilwoman Toombs and I will be having part 6 of our Budget 101 series for anyone who would like to join us. We will be talking about Nashville General Hospital, and that does start at 6 p.m. You can tune in on Facebook at the Metro Nashville Network Facebook page. You can also watch on Channel 3 on Comcast, Google Fiber, or Channel 99 on AT&T UVerse. And if you would like to tune in through WebEx, the link to that is https://tinyurl.com/budget series PT6. If you have any questions that you would like answered, please send those to Councilmember Toombs by 5 p.m. tomorrow. If you would like to see any of the budget series that you've not been able to see, you can go to youtube.com. And if you go to the Metro Nashville page and hit playlist, there is a playlist that says Metro Budget 101. It's the first one that you're able to see. So you're able to catch up on any that you may have missed. And very briefly, District 29 is having a community meeting tomorrow at 6 p.m. That's tomorrow, Wednesday, January 20th at 6 p.m. on WebEx. That information did go out in the last 2 newsletters. If you have not received that information on how to log in, please check out my Facebook page or send me an email. I will make sure that you get it. And we also have something up at the BZA for District 29 on the 21st at 1 p.m. The neighbors in that community are very aware of what's happening. So if you have any questions about that, please send me an email prior to 12 p.m. tomorrow. Thank you, Chair.
Councilmember Gamble.
Thank you, Chair. Just one announcement. There will be a District 3 district-wide community meeting on January 26th. It is a virtual meeting. We'll be discussing public safety and neighborhood issues, as well as having a representative from the trustee's office to discuss property tax relief programs. I invite anyone to go to the nashville.gov and go to the council events calendar for the link to join. That is January 26th at 6 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Amber. Thanks. Councilmember Hager.
Yes, just want to announce on January 28th at 6 p.m., we'll be having a virtual meeting about a proposed development on Andrew Jackson Parkway. It's a townhouse development. Council Lady Evans will be involved in that also because her district is right across the street from this proposed development. So I invite everybody to join in that meeting to discuss that proposed development. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Allen.
Thank you. I would like to invite anyone to a community meeting next Monday, January 25th at 6 p.m. to talk about proposed dark sky legislation that will provide guidelines to save energy, help the environment, and reduce wasted light and light pollution. And this will be an opportunity to learn what the legislation says and provide feedback, and invite anyone to come next Monday, January 25th at 6. It will be a virtual WebEx meeting. You can find the information on the Metro calendar of events. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. We've got two more, and I'd ask anybody who's already spoken to take your hand down on WebEx, unless you've got another announcement to make. Councilmember Syracuse will be next.
Thank you, Pro Tem. I'm going to be hosting a community meeting to address homelessness and panhandling issues in the Donaldson area. That'll be next Thursday, January 28th at 7 p.m. I just sent out a newsletter about it and posted it on social media as well. It does require registration. So again, that's going to be next Thursday, the 28th at 7 p.m. Thanks very much.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Stiles.
Thank you, Chair. District 32 is going to be having a community meeting next Wednesday at 6 p.m. That will be through Zoom, and it will be Facebook live streamed on the council page, which is Councilwoman Joy Stiles. For District 32, we will be discussing the purchase of the Global Mall, updates from that developer, as well as hearing from the State Rep Bob Freeman in regards to Bill SB 1429 regarding American Homes for Rent and dealing with HOAs. And we will also be hearing from a development on 1445 Eagle View Boulevard. So again, that will be through my Facebook page and will also be listed on the calendar of events. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem. On this Thursday, I do have a community meeting specific to a proposed development at the corner of Tulip Grove Road and Central Pike. It is a virtual meeting. I have the information on my Facebook page. It's also in the council calendar. And if for anyone who is interested that doesn't have access to either of those, you're welcome to email me at aaron.evans@nashville.gov, and I will send you the Zoom registration link. Thank you.
Thank you. So council members, there's still 6 or 7 hands up from people who've spoken already. I'm assuming nobody else has an announcement. If you do have an announcement, speak up now. Otherwise, we will wrap up the announcements. I appreciate everybody being quick and efficient with that. And
I'm sorry, Chair, I have another announcement.
Oh, go ahead, council member.
Thank you. Really briefly, we are having a litter walk Saturday morning in District 29. Due to COVID, we are very limited in the number of people that can participate. So if you are interested in participating, please email beautify district29@gmail.com so that we can make sure to get you registered. And lastly, if you are in the Antioch or Southeast Nashville community, please remember to fill out the planning department survey for the Murfreesboro Pike Dale Road study, and all of the local council members have shared it on our Facebook social media pages. So you can find that link on any of our pages. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Council members O'Connell and Syracuse, I see your hands up. I'm assuming no further announcement, or yes? Okay, thanks everybody.
Sorry, that was old, my bad.
Thanks everybody for being quick and efficient. Pat Nolan will be up next. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Mendez. Tonight's meeting of the Metropolitan Nashville and Davidson County Council is coming to you by live remote and is a public affairs presentation of the Metro Nashville Network. Good evening. I'm Pat Nolan, your announcer for this program. Tonight, the 15th Metropolitan Council holds its 32nd business meeting of a 4-year term. It has conducted 24 business meetings during 2020 with 1 adjourned meeting. This is the 2nd council meeting of 2021. After meeting 5 times in person at the Music City Center in recent months, Metro Council is in a completely virtual format tonight. The move to go completely virtual is out of an abundance of caution due to concerns over potential violent protests in Nashville and across the country over the transition of presidential administrations tomorrow. Council has been meeting largely online for some months now due to the continuing presence of COVID-19 in the community. Starting in April 2020, the council met 15 times virtually. The public urged not to attend. Almost all 40 members of the council and the council staff participated remotely. This was done under an emergency order of Governor Bill Lee, allowing the council to do its business and all local government bodies to conduct their business under emergency rules. Until tonight, Vice Mayor Jim Shulman and the Chair Pro Tem of the council, now Bob Mendez, along with a few others, including myself, have been in the council chambers for these meetings. Tonight, everyone involved is online. The council agenda tonight is relatively short, only 23 pages long, with a total of 58 pieces of legislation up for consideration. That's in addition to 2 appointments of local citizens to Metro boards and commissions. There are 16 resolutions on the agenda, only 5 first reading bills, 11 bills on second reading, and 26 ordinances on third and final reading. There will be no public hearings held tonight. Under resolutions, the council will consider 2 requests under RS 2021-717 and 718. They're both from the Nashville Electric Service. They total $195 million. They regard bonds to finance improvements to the NES electric power system. NES cannot issue bonds without permission of the Metro Council. These bonds will be paid solely by NES revenues. They will not be an obligation of the general government or be guaranteed by the taxing authority of Metro government. Under Resolution RS 2021-724, it's an intergovernmental agreement will be approved to allow the Metro Police to join with state and other police departments in Tennessee to participate in the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force with the primary purpose of investigating Internet crimes against children. Council is also expected to approve a resolution RS 2021-731 recognizing January as Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month, as well as RS 2021-729 honoring the memory of over 500 plus Nashvillians who have lost their lives due to COVID-19. One bill of note tonight on first reading is BL 2021-612. It would create a special commission to review and investigate the circumstances and responses pertaining to the Christmas Day bombing on 2nd Avenue. The commission will then make any recommendations regarding public safety improvements. Under the ordinance, 7 of the 9 members would be appointed by Mayor John Cooper, with the other 2 members being either the chair of the Public Safety Committee of the council or that council member's designee, or the vice mayor could be on the committee or his designee. Under the bill, the commission is granted authority, but not the obligation to conduct its own investigation, hold hearings, request services of the Metro Auditor, and upon adoption of a resolution by the council, engage the services of any outside professionals. Further, the commission shall have the right under the Metro Charter to compel attendance of witnesses, production of books, papers, and records pertaining to the investigation. In other words, it would have subpoena power. The commission is set to be appointed within 20 days of the approval of this ordinance and report within a year of its first meeting. Normally, first reading ordinances are not debated or voted on individually. We'll see what happens tonight. On second reading, there are 2 bills, BL 2020-553 and 586, that once again concern the city's role in providing long-term care services. With the city's Bordeaux facility closed in recent weeks, one bill would require a public hearing and council approval by a 21-vote majority to discontinue the city's J.B. Knowles assisted living facility. The other bill would reverse a council's previous decision that long-term medical care is obsolete and unnecessary as a governmental function. That bill would also request the creation of a long-term plan for the Knowles Home facility. On second reading, the council will also be asked under Bill RS 2021-593 to further restrict construction noise in or near residential areas. This body recently passed an ordinance that restricted construction noise between the hours of 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. during the months of June, July, and August, and between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. during the rest of the year. The new ordinance before the council tonight would limit construction noise between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 a.m. on weekdays and 7 p.m. and 9 a.m. on weekdays throughout the year. Another piece of legislation on second reading would promote the safety and quality of life. It is Bill 2021-594. It would lower the speed limit from 30 miles an hour to 25 miles an hour on streets in the Urban Services District designated as the city on the city's major or collector street plan. Exceptions could be granted that's lowering the speed limit by the city's Traffic and Parking Commission. A pilot program reducing speed limits was done on selected streets began back in 2019. The cost for Metro to provide new speed limit signages across the city is estimated at $85,000. If you want to follow tonight's council meeting as it progresses, you can find the agenda online. You can go to the Metro Council portion of the Nashville.gov website and then to the Legislative Information Center. We'll also be placing the bill numbers that I have been mentioning and others on the screen when they come up for consideration so you can follow along and keep up with where we are on the meeting agenda. Let's now go to Vice Mayor Jim Shulman. He will gavel tonight's meeting to order shortly.
Will the meeting please come to order? We welcome you to the Metro Council. Today is Tuesday, January 19th, 2021. We apologize for the delay in getting started. We are ready to go. Will all members of the council, as well as the public, please rise for the invocation. Remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Invocation this evening will be offered by Dr. Ray Miller of Crevewood Baptist Church, the guest of Councilmember Courtney Johnston.
Let's pray together. Our God, tonight we come before you humbly after an exhausting and anxiety-filled year, a year in which we grieved over 500 of our fellow Nashvillians lost to coronavirus. We pray that the families of those who are lost hear the words of Jesus, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted." We thank you for the first responders and essential workers and how they lay their lives on the line every day. We pray they'd hear the words of Jesus, "Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy." We pray your blessing on this meeting and on each council person. Give this group wisdom to discern hard governing decisions, compassion in their pursuit of justice, calm in the chaos, clarity in their communication, and unity in their vision. May they lead us in grace, truth, and hope to make Nashville a shining city on a hill, a place of blessing to live, work, and enjoy the good life. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Madam Clerk, if you would, please take the roll.
Councilmember Mendez.
Here.
Councilmember Hurt.
Here.
Allen.
Here.
Glover.
Here.
Suara.
Here.
Hall. Toombs.
Present.
Gamble.
Present.
Swope. Parker.
I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Parker.
Present.
Withers.
Present.
Benedict.
Present.
Van Reese.
Present.
Hancock.
Present.
Young.
Present.
Hager.
Present.
Evans.
Present.
Bradford.
Present.
Roten.
Present.
Syracuse.
Present.
Welsh.
Present.
Sledge. Councilmember Sledge. Councilmember Cash.
Present.
O'Connell.
Present.
Roberts.
Present.
Taylor.
Present.
Hauser.
Present.
Druffel.
Present.
Murphy.
Present.
Pulley.
Present.
Johnston.
Present.
Nash.
Present.
Vercher.
Present.
Porterfield.
Present.
Sepulveda.
Here.
Rutherford.
Here.
Stiles.
Present.
Lee. Councilmember Lee. Henderson.
Present.
Rosenberg.
Present.
If I may, Vice Mayor, I'll just go back and check on 3 people.
right.
Councilmember Hall. Councilmember Sledge.
Present.
Councilmember Sledge.
I'm present.
Thank you. Councilmember Lee. Vice Mayor, we have 38 council members present at this time.
All right, 38. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are meeting tonight completely virtual. So remember to hit your raise your hand button if you want to be recognized. Also, you will need to mute and unmute yourself. As you know, Governor Lee's Executive Order 65 now requires all virtual meeting votes to be by roll call. In order to avoid having to call on each individual member every time on both the consent agenda and any routine matters where there is no opposition to take a voice vote, Mr. Cooper will quickly read the names of those voting in favor into the record. I will give council members the opportunity to notify us if their particular vote is incorrect. In addition, Executive Order 65 requires those participating in an electronic meeting by audio means only to identify themselves each time they speak in a manner reasonably calculated to permit the public to ascertain the identity of the person speaking. Thus, if you do not keep your camera on, you will need to identify yourself when you begin speaking. So is there a motion for adoption of the minutes of the meeting from January 5th, 2021?
So moved.
All right, I got a proper motion. Look on the screen, properly seconded. Any discussion? All in favor of the minutes, say aye.
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 Opposed, no.
Aye.
Looks like the ayes have it, 38-4-0 against. Mr. Cooper?
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Broughton, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Druffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Vircher, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Stiles, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
That was beautiful. The vote is 38-4-0 against. Any changes to that? Hearing none, that's the vote. Madam Clerk, are there any messages from the mayor?
No, Vice Mayor, there are no messages from the mayor.
All right. Councilmember Johnston, you are recognized for a motion.
Mr. President, I make a motion that the January 19th, 2021 Metropolitan Council meeting agenda constitutes the central business of this body and the metropolitan government, and that meeting electronically is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak.
Okay, you've heard the motion. See a second. Any discussion? All right, ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. The ayes have it, 38-4-0 against. Mr. Cooper?
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Broughton, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Druffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Vircher, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Stiles, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
Looks like
Did
the
you
vote
say
is...
Lee?
Councilmember Lee, are you with us?
I was on the phone. You couldn't hear me, so now I'm back on my computer.
Okay. So I believe, Mr. Cooper, we're now at 39 members present and
Yes.
zero. So the vote is 39-4-0 against. All right. Any changes to that? Seeing none, motion is approved. All right. A couple of announcements at the request of Councilmember Freddie O'Connell. I had announced the formation of a special committee to focus on Nashville's local response to COVID-19, including a review of the goals of that response. Tonight, I am announcing that the following members will serve on that committee. Council members O'Connell, Johnston, Taylor, Evans, and Pulley. I am asking Councilmember Evans to be in charge of convening that group. Again, O'Connell, Johnston, Taylor, Evans, and Pulley. I'm asking Councilmember Evans to be in charge of convening that group. And secondly, this is the first meeting since all the unrest happened in Washington, D.C. Two things. First, I hope you all agree that together we have to pray for the health, welfare, safety, and stability of our nation. We may disagree on how we get there, but as Americans, we should always be striving for what makes our nation better and helps the people of our country. And secondly, on November 5th, 2020, 2 days after the election of Joe Biden as our next president, I had said to this body, speaking of getting along in the city and in our country, we can all do a better job practicing that. So I would ask all of you to start or keep practicing having respect for one another with your fellow Nashvillians and especially with people you don't agree with. It is time this country begins its healing process, and it can start with us. I heard the other day somebody say healing leadership. Believe in that. So whatever the issues, whatever the concerns, and wherever this divisiveness began, we must set the example by doing what we were elected to do, and that's working with each other for the betterment of Nashville and Davidson County. Tonight, again, we are virtual, but we do have one individual that signed up for public comment. His name is Luke Watson. He's from District 8. Mr. Watson, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
All right, Mr. Watson, again from District 8, you had signed up. You've got 2 minutes under public comment. You are recognized.
Thank you. Good evening, Vice Mayor and council members. My name is Luke Watson. I co-founded and co-own Third Coast Comedy Club in Marathon Village. I thought about starting with some sort of comedic, compelling argument, but I can't. This legislative body severely limits open feedback, allowing only 5 people to speak freely for 2 minutes per month. That's a mere 2 hours per year. Baffling. Secondly, there's not much to laugh about right now. Nashville's response to COVID-19's impact on small businesses has been profoundly lacking. I can't understate that enough. After Mayor Cooper's creation of the COVID-19 Financial Oversight Committee, this body voted for resolutions to distribute the millions of dollars Nashville was given from the CARES Act. This committee allowed for just a few categories for funding. All of the categories capped out at $10,000 in support. There was, however, an exception, live music venues, which were capped at $100,000 in grant funding. While it's admirable the committee wanted to support venues that have live music, the committee left a huge void for other venues, especially theaters like mine. Despite meeting every single definition of a live music venue in the resolution, even in Pathway Lending's own words, we were still denied. Nashville is more than Music City. People come here for more than our music. They come here for our hospitality, our restaurants, our history, our Grammy Award-winning symphony, our hot chicken, and yes, theaters like Third Coast, which TripAdvisor lists as one of the top 10% of attractions worldwide. The COVID Financial Oversight Committee did not legitimately entertain requests for additional funding for other closed venues and theaters. Some, like ours, have yet to reopen, despite these businesses losing over 95% of their revenue. I ask that future COVID committee meetings be open to public comment, be considerable of all types of performance venues, and include more small business owners on the committee itself. I knew when I opened my business that it would be difficult, that there would be blood, sweat, and tears. What I didn't expect was a lack of representation at the local level when our community needs it the most. I'm proud to call myself a Nashvilleian. Nashville comes together in difficult times. That's been proven time and time again, and I have no doubt we'll do the same through the rest of this pandemic. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Watson. We appreciate you participating in the council meeting. All right, we are now ready to proceed to elections and confirmations. Councilmember Johnson, report from the Rules Committee.
Thank you. We had a consent agenda for 2 appointments. The first was an appointment of Mr. David John Walker for a term expiring January 1st, 2025 for the Arts Commission. The second was an appointment of Mr. John Button for a term expiring August 31st, 2023 for the Community Corrections Advisory Board. We voted 8 in favor, 0 against, and 0 not voting, and I would move their approval.
All right, so you've heard the motion for the appointment of David John Walker for the Arts Commission and John Button for the Community Corrections Advisory Board. Proper motion, proper second. Any discussion on that motion? All right, seeing none, we're on the motion. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, no. Okay, it looks like the vote is 39-4-0 against. Mr. Cooper.
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Broughton, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Droffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Verter, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Stiles, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right, any corrections to that? All right, vote is 39-4-0 against. All right, that takes us to items on the consent agenda and resolutions. I have the consent agenda, and it looks like there are a lot of bills on a lot of resolutions on the consent agenda. So I'm going to go through them. So I'm on page 2 of your agenda. So let's just go through them. Item number 1, RS 2021-716 is on consent. 717, 718, 719, 720, 721, 722, 723, 724, 725, 726, 727, 730, and 731. Anything needs to be bumped off the consent calendar? I'm checking. Councilmember Sepulveda, you're recognized.
720.
All right. 720 needs to be bumped. That's item number 5. Okay. All right. And then Councilmember Suara.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. 723 needs to be bumped. Oh, 729.
Oh, okay. 729 already bumped.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Anybody else? All right. So the only one that really came off was 720. That was item number 5. All right. So I'm going to read the captions. All right. Item number 1, RS 2021-716 by Councilmember Toombs. A resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of April McQueen against the Metropolitan Government in the amount of $80,000, that amount to be paid out of the Self-Insured Liability Fund. RS 2021-717 by Councilmember Toombs, 29 supplemental electric system revenue bond resolution supplementing certain resolutions of the Metropolitan Government by authorizing the issuance of electric system revenue bonds 2021 Series A as requested by the Electric Power Board. RS 2021-718, Councilmember Toombs, 30th Supplemental Electric System Revenue Bond Resolution, supplementing certain resolutions by the Metropolitan Government by electing to defease, pay, and redeem certain electric system revenue bonds and authorizing certain other related matters. RS 2021-719 by Toombs, Van Rees, and Suara, resolution accepting a National Diversity and Arts Leadership Internship Program grant from Americans for the Arts to the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Metropolitan Nashville Arts Commission to provide financial and technical assistance for local implementation of the program. RS 2021-721, Toombs, Taylor, and Hancock, resolution approving Amendment 2 to a grant from the United States Environmental Protection Agency to the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, acting by and through the Metropolitan Board of Health for the ongoing collection of data on ambient air concentrations for fine particulate matters in Nashville, Tennessee. RS 2021-722, Taylor, Allen, and Welsh, resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Metropolitan Board of Health and Vanderbilt University Medical Center to establish emergency worksite points of dispensing medication during a public health emergency for licensed medical employees and other licensed medical professionals. RS 2021-723, Toombs, Taylor, Bradford, and Welsh, resolution accepting a grant from the State of Tennessee Department of Health to the Metropolitan Government through the Board of Health to implement and coordinate activities and services related to HIV, AIDS, STD, and viral hepatitis prevention, testing, diagnosis, and treatment and surveillance. RS 2021-724, Toombs, Taylor, Bradford, and Hancock, a resolution accepting a grant from the Marjorie A. Newhoff Private Foundation to the Metropolitan Government through the Board of Health to provide funding for the care of shelter animals at Metro Animal Care and Control. RS 2021-725, Gamble and Suara, a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement by and between the Metropolitan Government acting through the Nashville Police Department and the City of Knoxville acting through their Knoxville Police Department regarding participation in the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. RS 2021-726 by Toombs, a resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Daniel Picasso against the Metropolitan Government in the amount of $15,000 meant to be paid out of the Self-Insured Liability Fund. Item number 12, RS 2021-727, Bradford, Stiles, Vircher, and others. Resolution recognizing Sergeant Rafael Fernandez for his service to the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department upon the occasion of his retirement. RS 2021-730 by Allen, Gamble, Toombs, Wells, Stiles, and a host of others. A resolution recognizing the anniversary of the historic 2017 Women's March on Washington and sister marches held throughout the United States, including Nashville, Tennessee, and advancements in women's rights in America. And RS 2021-731, Sepulveda, Welsh, Johnson, Murphy, Gamble, and a host of other council members. A resolution recognizing January 2021 as Slavery Human Trafficking Prevention Month in Nashville. Those are the items on the consent agenda. Anything needs to be bumped? Councilmember Suarez, your hand is up. Do you need to bump anything else, or was that from before? Councilmember Suarez?
That was from before, sorry.
That was from before, okay. Anybody else? Seeing none, those are the items on the consent agenda. I need committee reports, budget and finance. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Resolution 2021-716, 717, 718, 723, 724, 726. Budget and Finance Committee voted to recommend approval, 10-4-0 against. Resolution 2021-719. The committee recommended approval, 9-4-0 against. And for Resolution 2021-721, the committee recommended approval, 11-4-0 against.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Toombs. Councilmember Johnston, rules and confirmation.
Rules considered RS 2021-722, 725, 727, 730, and 731, and voted 8 in favor, 0 against. Am I the last committee?
You are the last committee.
Okay, I would move the consent agenda, please.
All right, Councilmember Johnson has moved the consent agenda, properly seconded. Any discussion on the items on the consent agenda? Seeing nobody in the queue, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Opposed, no. Looks like it's 39-4-0 against. Mr. Cooper?
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suarez, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Ben Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Roden, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Truffle, Murphy, Floyd, Johnston, Nash, Richard, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Stiles, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right, 39-4-0 against. Any changes to that? Seeing none, motion passes. All right, we're now back on items not on the consent agenda. The first one up is item number 5, RS 2021-720, Toombs, Taylor, Allen, Suarez, and Welsh. It's a resolution approving an assignment and assumption grant agreement amendment from Safe Haven Family Shelter in the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to the Metropolitan Government by and through the Metropolitan Social Services Department of the Continuum of Care Coordinated Entry Grant for support services and administrative costs to strengthen and improve the effectiveness of the program. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized. Councilmember Toombs?
My apologies, Vice Mayor, I was on mute.
That's okay.
Committee report.
Committee report is yours, Budget and Finance.
Budget and Finance Committee recommended approval, 10-4-0 against.
All right. I need a motion to approve.
Move for approval.
So a motion to approve, properly seconded. Councilmember Sepulveda, you had taken this one off. Do I need to recognize you?
Yes, Vice Mayor. I need to be marked as abstaining.
All right. Councilmember Sepulveda will be marked as abstaining. Any discussion on the resolution? Seeing nobody's hands up, all those in favor of the resolution say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Resolution is adopted 38-4, 0 against, 1 person abstaining. Mr. Cooper, you're recognized.
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suarez, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Ben Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Roden, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Druffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Richard, Porterfield, Rutherford, Stiles, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg. Abstaining, Sepulveda.
All right. Any corrections to that? Seeing none. Vote is 38, 0, and 1. 1 abstention. All right. We're on item number 13. It's RS 2021-728. Councilmember Hager, Syracuse, Roten, Glover, Mendez, and a host of others. It's a resolution honoring the life of Phyllis S. Williams. Councilmember Hager, you recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, there is an amendment on here also.
All right. They went to rules confirmations. Councilmember Johnston, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Rules had no objection to the late filed amendment that I'm assuming Councilman Hager is going to move. So we just voted on the resolution itself, not amended, and we voted 9 in favor, 0 against.
Okay. Thank you, Councilmember. Back to you, Councilmember Hager.
Move the amendment, please.
All right, Mr. Cooper, this was not late filed. Is that correct? Was it filed on time? Okay. So it's okay. Councilmember Hager moves amendment of the First Amendment, properly seconded. Back to you for an explanation of the amendment.
The amendment only adds that at the time that I filed this, couldn't get confirmation that she was on the board with the Donaldson Hermitage Chamber of Commerce. And that's all the amendment does. So I move for the amendment, please.
All right. So the amendment is moved, properly seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing no discussion. Councilmember Murphy, you recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I mentioned this in rules. Somehow this got past the email co-sponsor, and I did not get on here. I emailed into the clerk, but I know that that was late today. And so, as usual, as I see certain council members roll their eyes, I would think that this is one of those that we can all agree on, that everybody voting in the affirmative should be listed as a co-sponsor, because Miss Williams was truly a treasure for all Nashvilleians. So with that, I would request that we all be listed as co-sponsors on this.
Okay, let me get the amendment on, and then we'll go back to the resolution, and we'll take that as a full motion. I think we're on the amendment. Any other discussion on the amendment? Seeing nobody in the queue on the amendment, all those in favor of the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Opposed, no. Amendments adopted, 39-4, 0 against. Mr. Cooper?
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Broughton, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Truffle, Murphy, Pulley, Johnson, Nash, Richter, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Stiles, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right, vote is 39-4, 0 against on the amendment. Any changes? Seeing none, the amendment. Councilmember Glover, on the vote or on the resolution?
On the resolution, sir.
Okay, so the vote is 39-4, 0 against. Amendment passes. Back to you, Councilmember Hager, on your resolution as amended.
Move the resolution as amended, and I'll try to present it in March to the family when we're in a live session. Just want to get it passed tonight. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Hager, do you mind if everybody who votes in the affirmative is listed as a prime sponsor on this?
No objection at all, Vice Mayor.
Okay, so the motion is to approve this resolution as amended. Everybody will be listed as a sponsor. Properly seconded. Councilmember Glover, you're recognized.
Just very quickly, I think this, unfortunately, Phyllis did pass, but I'll tell you, even though she and I were members of different parties, she was a chair the first time I ran for the school board, a wonderful person, and just a massive asset for all of Nashville. But those of us in the Donaldson Hermitage, Old Hickory area, we had a true jewel, and thank goodness she was with us, and how very fortunate we were to, and especially myself, to be able to get to know her, because she was a wonderful person. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Glover. I think we're all going to miss her. Anybody else in the queue? Seeing none, we're voting on a resolution RS 2021-728 as amended. Everybody will be listed as a sponsor. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Yes.
Opposed, no. Resolution is passed, 39-4, 0 against. Mr. Cooper?
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Broughton, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Truffle, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Richter, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Stiles, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
Right, vote is 39-4, 0 against. Any corrections? Seeing none, that's the vote. Motion passes. We're on item number 14, RS 2021-729 by Councilmember Suara, Van Rees, Gamble, and others. It's a resolution honoring the memory of Nashvillians who have died from COVID-19. Councilmember Suara, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports.
Rules and confirmation, Councilmember Johnston.
Thank you. This was actually the one that had the late filed amendment that no one objected to. And so we voted just on the resolution itself, 9 in favor, 0 against. I apologize for confusing the two earlier.
No problem. Vote was 9-4, 0 against in rules. Councilmember Suara, you are recognized.
I'd like to suspend the rules to move my amendment, please.
All right. Councilmember Suara has an amendment to the resolution on RS 2021-729. Can you explain what the amendment does? And then you'll ask for a motion to suspend the rules.
Thank you. The amendment is a minor change. The resolution, they said that the Korean Bridge and the building will be lit in blue, but the inauguration team actually said they want all cities to use amber. So it's just a change in the color that we're using. That's all the amendment to the resolution.
All right. So you've heard what the amendment does. Is there any objection to suspending the rules to get that the amendment on this resolution tonight? I see no hands in the queue. Rules are suspended. Councilmember Suara, you're recognized on your amendment.
Thank you. I'd like to move the amendment.
Okay. So Councilmember Suara has explained the amendment, and she moves the amendment, properly seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of the amendment say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Opposed, no. Amendment's adopted. 39-4, 0 against. Mr. Cooper.
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Rees, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Broughton, Syracuse, Welsh, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Druffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Richard, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Stiles, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right. 39-4, 0 against. Any changes to that? The amendment's adopted. Back to you, Councilmember Suara, on your resolution as amended.
Thank you. I'd like to move the resolution as amended with a brief explanation.
Okay, so you've heard the motion, properly seconded. Back to you.
Thank you. This resolution is done in conjunction with the Presidential Inauguration Committee as part of the inauguration, the 59th presidential inauguration. The presidents and the team wanted to recognize all the lives that we lost throughout the nation to COVID-19 and requesting all cities to join. There was lighting in DC tonight and in cities across the nation. And so the administration was gracious enough to lead the Korean Bridge, I believe the building as well. But more than anything, we want to remember the 500 lives so far that we've lost. We wanted to pray for their loved ones, but we also hopefully want to commit that as a city and as individuals that we continue to do everything that we can to limit the deadly impact of this virus, and that we can do all that we can to make sure there's equitable access to vaccine. There's so much going on that we can do. I'm hoping that this resolution is a reminder and a commitment for that and a remembrance for the lives lost. So with that, I renew my motion to approve.
Thank you, Councilmember Suara. Again, Councilmember Suara has moved passage of this resolution as amended. It's been properly seconded. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the resolution as amended, this is RS 2021-729, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Resolution as amended passes 39-4, 0 against. Mr. Cooper?
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Rees, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Broughton, Syracuse, Welsh, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Truffle, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Richard, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Stiles, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right. Resolution passes 39-4, 0 against. Any changes to that? Resolution passes. All right. That completes items on the consent and regular calendar. We do have a late filed amendment by Councilmember Welsh. It's a resolution condemning the January 6, 2021 DC Capitol building insurrection. Councilmember Welch, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I would like to move to suspend the rules.
All right, so let me go to Councilmember Johnston, Rules Committee.
There was no objection to suspending the rules from the committee.
All right, so Councilmember Welch has moved to suspend the rules to get this matter heard tonight. Is there any objections? I see one hand. Oh, I see three hands. So rules are not suspended, and so this matter will go on to the next meeting agenda. All right, so we are now ready for bills on introduction and first reading. Any bills on introduction, first reading that need to be considered separately? Checking. All right, if no objection, we're going to take all of these bills on introduction, first reading at one time. Can I have a motion to approve all of these on introduction, first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, looks like it's 39-4, 0 against. Mr. Cooper?
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Roden, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Druffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Richard, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Stiles, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right, the vote is 39-4, 0 against. Bills on first reading pass. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up now the consent agenda for bills on second reading. Okay, so we're now on bills on second reading. We do have a consent calendar. These are the items on the consent calendar. Item number 27, BL 2021-595. Item number 30, BL 2021-598. BL 2021-599 and BL 2021-600. Got 595, 598, 599, and 600. Any objections to any of those bills on the consent calendar? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to read the captions of these bills, and then we'll get committee reports. So the first one is BL 2021-595 by Gamble and Stiles. It's an ordinance approving an agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville, Davidson County, by and through the Nashville Police Department and Vanderbilt University Medical Center to provide medical support and work cooperatively with other on-scene first responders to assist in situations encountered by MNPD. Okay. Next item is item number 30, BL 2021-598 by Taylor, Murphy, and Nash. It's an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to relocate a public fire hydrant assembly for property located at 517 Dr. D.B. Todd Jr. Boulevard. BL 2021-599, Swope, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to accept a new sanitary sewer main and one sanitary sewer manhole for property located at 5661 Valley View Road. And the last item on the consent agenda for second reading, BL 2021-600, Cash, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to relocate a public fire hydrant assembly for 3 properties located at 1207 Sweet Briar Avenue. Those are 4 bills. Anything needs to come off? Okay, seeing none, I'll take committee reports. I've got planning and zoning. Councilmember Murphy, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. On BL 2021-598, 599, and 600, Planning, Zoning, and Historical voted 17 in favor, 0 against for passage.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Murphy. Councilmember Nash, Public Works.
Public Works took up Bill
Bill 598, 599, and 600. Approving all, 10-4, 0 against.
All right. Thank you, Council Member. And Council Member Johnston, you've got the last one.
Rules.
Yeah, 595.
Yep, rules, I'm sorry, rules voted 9 in favor, 0 against.
All right. And if you don't mind, if you'll give me a motion to approve.
And I move the consent agenda.
All right. Thank you. Got a proper motion, proper second. Any discussion on the consent agenda on second reading? Seeing nobody in the queue, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Vote is 39-4, against. Mr. Cooper.
Voting aye, Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Broughton, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Druffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Verger, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Salisbury, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right, 39-4, against. Any changes to that? Seeing none, motion passes 39-4, 0 against. All right, we're back on bills on second reading on the consent, on second reading. The first one up is number 22, BL 2019-8. Councilmember Roberts, Henderson, Toombs, and Stiles. It's an ordinance amending section 17.20.120 of Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code pertaining to the provision of sidewalks. Councilmember Roberts, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I would like to withdraw this with a brief explanation, please.
All right, so the bill is going to be withdrawn. No motion required. Councilmember Roberts, you're recognized.
So we put a lot of time and a lot of effort into talking this through and trying to find the right fit for this. And unfortunately, I don't think this was the right time for it. I think after we redistrict, it's going to make more sense possibly, and I would like to bring this back. I think this can have a big impact. I think that there was a lot more conversation that needed to be had. And so on that note, and with that, I would like to withdraw it, sadly, but withdraw it.
All right. Councilmember Roberts, thank you. Bill is withdrawn. Next item, item number 23, Bill 2025-53 by Hall, Toombs, and Taylor. It's an ordinance to require a resolution of the Metropolitan Council prior to discontinuing operations at the J.B. Knowles Home Assisted Living Facility. Councilmember Toombs, I'm going to recognize you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee report.
All right, I believe it's yours, Budget and Finance.
Budget and Finance Committee recommended a 1 meeting deferral, 12-4, 0 against.
All right, and back to you on the bill.
Move for a 1 meeting deferral.
Okay. So Councilmember Toombs has moved for a 1 meeting deferral on the bill, properly seconded. Any discussion on the deferral? Seeing none, we're on a motion to defer 1 meeting. All those in favor of the deferral motion say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed say no. Looks like the deferral passes 39-4, 0 against. Mr. Cooper.
Voting aye, Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Broughton, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Druffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Richard, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Salisbury, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right, 39-4, 0 against. Any changes to that? Seeing none. Motion to defer passes. All right, the next bill is BL 2025-86 by Toombs, Stiles, Gambles, and others. This is an ordinance amending ordinance number BL 2014-688 to reverse the Metropolitan Council's determination that the provision of long-term medical care is obsolete and unnecessary as a governmental function, directing that certain actions be taken regarding the preservation of the licensed bed at the Bordeaux Long-Term Care Facility and appraisals of the Bordeaux Long-Term Care and J.B. Knowles Home for the Aged facilities, and requesting the creation of a long-term plan for the J.B. Knowles Home Facility. Councilmember Toombs, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee report.
All right, it's yours. Budget and Finance.
Budget and Finance recommended a 1 meeting deferral, 12-4, 0 against.
All right, and back to you on the bill.
Move for a 1 meeting deferral.
Okay, Councilmember Toombs says move for a one meeting deferral. Properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, ready to vote on the one meeting deferral. All those in favor of the one meeting deferral say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed say no. 39 for, 0 against. Mr. Cooper.
Voting aye, Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Broughton, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cashel, Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Druffel, Murphy, Floyd, Johnston, Nash, Richard, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Stiles, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right, 39 for, 0 against. Motion to defer passes. Any changes to that? Okay, 39 for, 0 against. We're on item number 25, BL 2021-593 by Council Members Lee, Hauser, and Taylor. It's an ordinance amending Chapter 9.30 of the Metropolitan Code to restrict construction noise between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 a.m. on weekdays and between the hours of 7 p.m. and 9 a.m. on weekends. Council Member Lee, you're recognized.
Yes, sir. May I have the committee reports, please?
You certainly may. Planning and Zoning, Council Member Murphy.
Thank you. We voted 17 in favor, 0 against to defer this one meeting.
All right. Councilmember Lee, you're recognized.
I would like to defer this one meeting and wonder if I may have a brief comment.
So the motion is defer one meeting, properly seconded. Back to you for a brief comment.
Yes, I have been contacted by some folks that from labor that want to look at something different on this, so that this is being deferred so that we can talk a little more about that, but it's coming back to you. So I hope you will be open and get ready, because it will come after we do a little more collaborating. Thank you, sir.
All right, so the motion is to defer one meeting. Councilmember Johnston, you're recognized.
Thank you. I'd just like to get this referred to codes, please.
Oh, okay. So instead of just the planning, you want it to go to codes?
Yes.
All right. Councilmember Lee, you have any objection to that?
I suppose not.
All right. So without objection, we'll take the motion to defer one meeting. It's going to be, it's obviously going back to Planning and Zoning and also to the Codes Committee. Okay. So are you okay with that motion?
I guess is it my place to be able to ask why to Codes?
Let me go to Mr. Cooper. I think he wants to be recognized.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
It was referred to Codes, but since we had a condensed meeting scheduled today, Codes did not meet, so that's why it's not listed. But it will be. It ordinarily would have been referred.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Chair. That's fine.
All right. Looks like that's where it's going to go. All right. So the motion is to defer one meeting. It'll go to Planning and it will go to Codes. Any further discussion? Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm having a little trouble with my audio and video, so I hope you can hear me some. So I have already reached out to the construction industry and the and labor as well, and hoping to schedule a call at the end of next week. We kind of discussed it in committee, and so I think Chair of Codes, Councilman Cash, and I will be able to get that scheduled with the bill sponsors and interested parties. So we aren't just changing this ordinance every couple of weeks, so we can hopefully have some real stakeholder input and come up with one plan and bring it back to everyone.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Murphy. Councilmember Nash, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess I know we passed a bill similar to this a month ago, and I was wondering if the sponsor might be able to tell me the differences, and we'll probably determine whether I vote for the deferral or not.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Councilmember Lee, you're recognized.
Yes, sir, I would love to. The times are different. The other bill had some other things in it, but mine is mostly looking at the noise, the time it will start in the mornings and the time it will end in the afternoons. And Sir Chair, if I'm also able to say from the other comments about scheduling meetings, I hope those will come through me and will be scheduled with me, so that something won't be scheduled or, try to meet with people, and I'm not able to do that.
All right, Councilmember Nash, back to you. Further questions?
I think that answered it. Thank you.
All right. Councilmember Cash, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. I'll just point out that that previous bill on construction hours did appear before the Codes Committee, and we considered it and voted on it. So it's, to me, it's very appropriate that this one go before Codes as well. And I'm happy to work with Council Lady Lee and Council Lady Murphy to schedule a meeting.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Cash. Any other questions? I'm looking in the queue. I think all hands are down. All right. So this is a motion to defer one meeting. It'll go to planning and zoning, also go to codes. All those in favor of the deferral motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes to defer 39-4-0 against. Mr. Cooper.
Thank you, sir.
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Broden, Syracuse, Welch, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Duffin, Murphy, Foley, Johnston, Ashburger, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Stiles, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right. 39-4-0 against. Any changes to that? Seeing nobody with a change, 39-4-0 against. We're now on item number 26. It's BO 2021-594, Allen, Nash, O'Connell, and others. Ordinance lowering the speed limit on streets designated as local streets on the major and collector street plan within the urban services district from 30 miles per hour to 25 miles per hour, allowing exceptions to that general reduction to be granted by the Metropolitan Traffic and Parking Commission and amending section 12.20.020 of the Metropolitan Code. Councilmember Allen, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee reports.
All right. Public Works, Councilmember Nash.
Public Works moves for approval 11-4-0 against as amended.
Twice.
All right. Back to you, Councilmember Allen.
I think we have a report from Traffic and Parking as well.
All right. Traffic and Parking. Councilmember O'Connell, did the bill go to there as well? It's not listed on here.
It did. Okay. We had a joint committee, which it might be why it affected the listing. So we considered it in a special, that bill alone came to both committees today. So we voted to recommend 5 in favor, 0 against, as amended with both amendments.
All right. Thank you. Back to you, Councilmember Allen.
Thank you. I would like to move approval with a brief explanation, and then there are some amendments.
All right, so I got a motion to approve, properly seconded. Back to you, and then you do have 2 amendments sitting here. Councilmember Allen.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. So in general, this bill is a response to requests from many neighbors to lower speed limits on their neighborhood streets. It may have, I would like to claim credit for helping get it started when my former district talked Public Works into creating a pilot walking district, both in a Hillsborough West End neighborhood as well as Cleveland Park and a neighborhood in Antioch. So 3 different parts of town where they slowed the speed limit to 20 at the request of neighbors who were very interested in making their streets safer. It was documented. There was before and after data taken. And it showed that it did slow people down and that people felt like their streets were safer. And at least in my part of town, there was very strong support for that movement. And as the 180 applications to traffic calming program have shown, there is strong support all over the city. In fact, every single district has at least one traffic calming application in. So every part of Nashville is interested in this. There is data that shows that you can cut the chance of an accident being fatal in half simply by lowering the speed limit from 31 to 23. So we're saving lives with this and hopefully responding to requests from many neighbors. As it's currently written, it will apply to the urban services district only. That was because we wanted to get the areas where the most compact streets were and where the most local streets were. And I've been pleased to hear from some council members express a desire to expand it to the GSD later, but we'll learn from this experience and go from there. So general explanation of why we're doing this and what this bill is about. With that, I would like to move the First Amendment with a brief explanation.
All right, hold on just if you don't mind. I've got Councilmember O'Connell. Do you want to wait until the amendments go on, or do you want to talk on the bill? Councilmember O'Connell?
Sorry,
there you go.
Yeah, sorry. Speak on the bill as amended, so I can either put my hand back up then or leave me in the queue, whatever.
No, I'll come back to you and we'll get the amendments on. Councilmember Allen. So Councilmember Allen has moved amendment number 1, properly seconded. Back to you for an explanation of the amendment.
Thank you. This is simply adding a recital that it adds the information about the data on lives being saved by slowing traffic from 25 down to, from 30 down to 25. So I just wanted that to become part of the bill. So with that, I would renew my motion for approval for that amendment.
All right. So you've heard the motion on the amendment, again, properly seconded. Any discussion on that amendment number 1? All right. Seeing nobody in the queue. All those in favor of amendment number 1, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Opposed, no. Looks like the amendment passes 39-4-0 against. Mr. Cooper.
Voting aye, Mendez, Hurd, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Broughton, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Druffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Virgil, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Sowsley, Henderson, and Worthenberg.
All right, 39-4-0 again. Amendment number 1 passes. Any changes to that? Seeing none, amendment number 1 is on the bill. We're on BL 2021-594 as amended. Councilmember Allen, you're recognized on the second amendment.
Thank you. I would like to move the second amendment with a brief explanation, and I'll invite Councilmember O'Connell to jump in on that explanation if he would like to as well.
Okay, so there is a motion to pass amendment number 2, properly seconded by Councilmember O'Connell. Back to you, Councilmember Allen.
Thank you. And this amendment simply clarifies the language to make it more clear that this applies to the Urban Services District. It was a suggestion from the Legal Department of Public Works and could be considered a housekeeping amendment.
All right. Any questions on the second amendment? All right, seeing nobody in the queue, we're on amendment number 2. All those in favor of amendment number 2, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Amendment number 2 is passed. So we're on BL 2021-594 as amended. 2 amendments on the bill. We are now, Councilmember Allen, I'm back to you for a motion on the bill, and then I've got people in the queue.
Move the bill as amended.
Okay. Councilmember Allen has moved 2021-594 as amended, properly seconded. Councilmember O'Connell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had good discussion on this in both committees tonight, and I just wanted to make one brief observation from the standpoint of chairing Traffic, Parking, and Transportation, which also has me serving on the Traffic and Parking Commission. For over a year now, I have seen multiple neighborhoods with the support of their council members coming to the Traffic and Parking Commission, seeking this very reduction on small sets of streets. I think to Councilmember Allen's point, this goes back years. In fact, she began doing her work when we still had a Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee. I know that has since been disbanded, and I think will be replaced soon by a Vision Zero committee, if that is not already active. But this is an important tool in an overall toolkit designed and intended to reduce pedestrian fatalities, to improve overall roadway safety, and generally allow everyone to feel safer when they are moving about the community, however they choose to do so. The Walkable Neighborhoods initiative that Councilmember Allen launched is something I've got a lot of exposure to just from where our girls go to school, where our family seeks recreational opportunities at the Fannie Mae Dees Park, commonly known as the Dragon Park. And it is remarkable in the time that district has been in effect that we have seen sort of a cultural shift in that neighborhood and a reduction in speed limits, and clearly improvements to pedestrian safety. We see children walking and/or biking to school, to Aiken and/or Harris Hillman on a regular basis. And it is just a true benefit that I think the Urban Services District will broadly enjoy. So I encourage colleagues to support it with a recognition that it is also cost effective. The fiscal note on this is only $85,000 or $86,000. And I think it is well worth that small investment. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember O'Connell. Councilmember Hancock, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm very supportive of lowering the speed limits, and I completely understand starting with the USD. However, every time we ask about the difference between GSD and USD, we're told sidewalks, streetlights, trash, and recycling. This is none of those, and I know there are many other expenses that aren't broken out properly, including this one. I realize it's only $86,000, but every dollar adds up. So I implore our Public Works Department, our Budget Committee, and all of us as we're working on the budget going forward to make sure we get the breakdown of the numbers properly so that we are charging the GSD and the USD districts equally. We have both USD and GSD in District 9. Those that are in the area that will be lowered will be super happy, and those that aren't will be impatient that they are again paying for something that they're not getting. So while I realize this could be a test and maybe it would expand, that's not the emails that I received when asking about this originally. And I would just like to make sure we budget it properly. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Hancock. Councilmember Allen, back to you. Any response?
Only to say our hope is certainly to identify the streets in the GSD where it makes sense. They're just the mix of small streets where you need to go slow and large streets where you can go flying down the street are different. And it will take input from council members in the GSD, and I think that we will be moving in that direction with the help of the council members out there to identify where it's appropriate and where it's not. We initially had some pushback, interestingly, from some people who live on large rural streets where it wouldn't make sense to try to push them down to 25. So I think it's simply a matter of getting more information, and absolutely we support helping y'all get that as soon as we can.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Allen. Councilmember Cash, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. I am very in support of this bill and appreciate Councilmember Allen's work on it and Councilmember O'Connell's work on it as well, and on the Traffic and Parking Commission. I was in the neighborhood with one of the walking districts, and while it I feel like it was very successful, it did not slow everybody down. There's still, you still got folks, I still got folks, emailing me and calling me up saying, we need to do more and I know that Public Works, when they do the data, kind of recognizes that traffic calming can slow a lot of people down, but you've still got about 15% of people that kind of aren't paying attention or don't care or something. So while I'm very supportive of this bill and excited about it, I know that just passing the bill and lowering the speed limits won't be enough. And like I said in committee, it's going to take, Metro Police and Public Works and the administration working together to make sure that there's an enforcement plan, and we're going to have to kind of retrain folks in this area that hey, something has changed, because we don't want to just lower the speed limit. We want to slow cars down and save lives. So I appreciate the work on that, and know that we'll have to, as council members and with the administration and with our constituents, we're going to and with the police department, we're going to have to keep working to make sure that this changes behavior. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Cash. Councilmember Benedict, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. My connection's been a little slow, so hopefully we won't have that. Can you hear me okay right now?
I can hear you.
Great. So thank you so much. So I broadly support this, and I signed on to co-sponsor it as soon as it came up. District 7 is almost all residential, and we have had in the past 18 months 2 fatalities and 1 near fatality of pedestrians crossing the street on Gallatin Pike, which is very busy, but all the streets leading up to Gallatin Pike have higher speed limits. In Englewood and Madison, we have narrow streets with no shoulder. So for pedestrians, it's very dangerous. They're having to dodge cars very frequently. In fact, when we walk our dogs, we see all of our neighbors out doing the same thing that we do and stepping in the culvert in order to avoid cars that are going by. Oftentimes, 30 at 5 above. So they're driving 35 when we could get them to drive 25 or less than 30 anyway. And certainly since COVID started, we have more walkers, and so there's more danger out there. Finally, about District 7, this district had more traffic calming applications in the traffic calming program than any other district last year. This district really wants to do all that we can to, my constituents want this council to do all that we can to reduce speeds and make our streets safer. Not one senior, not one child, and not any Nashvilleian should be put in harm's way on our streets. And I urge this council this body to please support this bill. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Benedict. Councilmember Swope, you're next.
Thank you, Jan.
There you are.
As Councilmember Hancock and Council Benedict just mentioned, District 4 is 50% GSD and 50% USD. I have requested the speed limits be low. Half of those will be with this bill. The other half won't be, and they are important neighborhoods. It's very large neighborhood. % tax increase, and is not included in this. I just wanted to make it very public, very clear and transparent. Included in this. Thank you for your time.
All right, Councilmember Swope, we had a little bit of trouble hearing you. Do you mind trying to repeat? I'm scared we're going to lose you again, but particularly the last part, we missed that. All right, which I think was what you were trying to say. If you don't mind repeating that, that'd be great.
No, not a problem. With half of my district being GSD and a crucial half of my district being GSD, their taxes were raised 37% by this body, yet they're not included in lowering traffic from Public Works. I would like to be very public and very transparent in the single fact that this bill doesn't go far enough. Thanks.
All right, Councilmember Allen, I know this is your bill. I didn't get all that the second time either, but I think I would ask, because I know that Councilmember Swope is trying to get a point across. If I could maybe if you could work with Mr. Cooper and try to get that information, I think that would be good. Councilmember Allen.
Okay. Yeah, I missed, if there was a question there, what I heard was a statement that people in the GSD are frustrated that they're not being part of this. I will remind this body, part of this process began a year ago when we passed a bill authorizing Public Works to do the study of the 3 neighborhoods where we were lowering the bill. And at that time, some of the feedback that we got was, we don't want our speed limit lowered. We have big wide streets and we can go fast. And so that's why we have proceeded in a stepwise fashion. But that simply means that we'll learn as we go along, and that we will work towards finding out where the areas are in the GSD that want the speed limit lowered. I can't speak for Public Works and funding, but certainly that has been the thought all along, to try to be strategic in this and to identify where it's appropriate. So if Councilmember Swope and Hancock can begin to identify where those streets are, where it makes sense, then we can start putting that list together. And that's, I mean, the Vision Zero committee, as well as the Slow the Speed Limit Down committee, and all the staff at Public Works are committed to trying to make it safer for everyone in Nashville, and to do it in a logical and phased approach. And we will get to phase 2, 3, 4, whatever, as we can. So it's helpful to hear from people that there is support in areas where we were being timid.
Councilmember Swope.
Thank you, Councilmember Allen. But again, I repeat, for my GSD residents, which is a rather large part of my district, to be paying 37% tax increase and not getting their speed limits lowered like everybody has been screaming for 5 years. I just need to be public and say that on behalf of my constituents. They really wish you would look at the GSD a little closer and a little quicker. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Swope. We heard you that time. All right. Councilmember Murphy, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I guess I have a question for Councilman O'Connell to answer as chair of Traffic and Parking. It's my understanding that any council member or a citizen could appeal to the Traffic Commission to lower their speed limit. Is there something in this bill that I'm missing that is preventing all of these neighborhoods and constituents from applying to the Traffic Commission?
Councilmember Allen?
I think that was directed at Councilmember O'Connell.
Okay, I'll go to Councilmember O'Connell.
Sorry, I missed it. I had a fussing toddler in the background. Can the question get repeated?
Councilmember Murphy?
I just want to verify at any point in time as a council member or one constituents or neighborhood leader on their street. It doesn't have to be in this legislation. It could be one street or one block at a time. Isn't that true? That you could apply to the Traffic Commission for that, regardless of what district you're in.
Yeah,
Councilmember O'Connell.
Right. Anyone is free at any time to make a request of Public Works staff to bring something like this, a stop sign, a speed limit reduction, to the Traffic and Parking Commission. Sure.
Councilmember Murphy.
Thank you. I just wanted to get that clarified on the record because it seems to be that there's a misconception here that this is the only way to address speed and traffic sponsors, and I appreciate Councilman O'Connell representing us on the commission.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Murphy. Councilmember Henderson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. My point was similar to Council Lady Murphy's. I too serve both the USD and the GSD. And, the context of those roads are often very different, with GSD roads sometimes being wider, not always. But again, this is just one piece of our larger Vision Zero puzzle. I have lived in a neighborhood that's 25 miles per hour Metro USD, but it's suburban with 25 miles per hour for 14 years. And that works very well for the most part because our roads were designed narrowly. Councilman Roden spoke in Public Works Committee about some of our GSD areas wherein the roads, when those suburban neighborhoods were built, were just very wide and very straight. And so if you drop 25 miles per hour on that street, it just won't feel right. And that's why, colleagues, it's very important that we fund traffic calming. We have, Council Lady Allen alluded to it, we have 180 neighborhoods asking for traffic calming. At present funding levels, we can do at most 25 a year. And so out in our more suburban context, it's not going to work just to change the sign. You're going to have on-street physical treatments, but traffic calming has a very, very high return on investment. It can be delivered at scale broadly all across the county if we fund it appropriately in this upcoming CSP. So let's make sure the mayor's office hears that, and that in the Public Works operational budget, we get more staff to do traffic calming so that this legislation can work in concert with an appropriately funded traffic calming program to deliver what our citizens want in both the GSD and the USD. And Councilman Swope, this has an $85,000 fiscal note. And so it's not It's a very small investment for the return for public safety. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Henderson. Councilmember Glover, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. My comment will be very brief. I mean, obviously, the district council members want this. I'm going to support it. But I've heard a few of you say, our police, you know, we just got to talk to the police. Guys, we need more police officers. We need to look at the funding on that and look at what our priorities are going to be in the upcoming budget. So with that, I hope we will truly look at the number of officers we have to be out on the streets. If we're going to ask them to do more work, we got to have more officers. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Hager, you're recognized.
As y'all know, most of my district's all general services district. I've had 2 or 3 streets changed on the speed limit to 25 miles an hour. And all you got to do is request the traffic and parking for that. Some streets it does help, some it does not. I would agree that, you know, coupled with this, you do the safe street and you also have more enforcement in those areas. But people in the general services district can request the traffic and parking to drop those speed limits. And I've done it on 3 or 4 streets in my district in the past. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember. I got Councilmember Evans. You're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I was curmudgeonly in the committee meeting, and I just really want to kind of reemphasize that, of course, Councilman Swope's comments I think are really valid about the GSD. That is my situation out here in Hermitage, and I have been through the process with Traffic and Parking Commission, and it's relatively easy, and I will continue to go through it. I'm going to hold us accountable to continue to look at the GSD and how we bring solutions like this that I think help and that residents are requesting to be equitable to our area residents that are out here in the country. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Rosenberg, you're recognized.
Previous question.
All right. Councilmember Rosenberg has called the previous question. All those in favor of the previous question say aye.
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 Hallelujah.
Aye.
Opposed, no. I think I heard 38 yeses, 1 hallelujah, and 0 no's. Mr. Cooper, I think that was 39-0.
Voting aye on the previous question: Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Grote, Syracuse, Welsh, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Gospel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Richard, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Stiles, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right, 39-4, 0 against on the previous question. We are ready to vote. We're on BL 2021-594. I had 2 amendments on it. 2021-594 as amended. All those in favor of it, passage on second reading, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Opposed, no. Looks like it's 39-4, 0 against. Mr. Cooper.
Thanks, Vice Mayor. And I want to clarify this roll call will be both for amendment number 2 and for the bill as amended.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Voting aye: Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker.
Not really, comma. Somebody sent this to me, and in order to share it with you all, I have to pick your names individually.
Sepulveda, Rutherford, Stiles, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right. I believe Councilmember Lee, I think somebody is not muted, and I'm checking to tell who it is.
My bad. Sorry.
All right. I heard you. All right. So, Mr. Cooper did a very nice rendition for both the second amendment, which I must have forgotten to go back to, and for the bill as amended. So it was 39-4, 0 against. Everybody okay with that? Including Councilmember Lee? You good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Councilmember Henderson, your hand is still up. Is that from before? Okay. All right. So Bill 2021-594. 2 amendments on it, passes on second reading, and we move on. 39-4, 0 against. Item number 28, Bill 2021-596 by Councilmember Johnston. This is an ordinance readopting the Code of the Metropolitan Government prepared by Municipal Code Corporation, including supplemental and replacement pages thereof, containing certain ordinances of a general and permanent nature enacted on or before September 15, 2020. Councilmember Johnston, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm asking for committee reports. The committee report comes from Rules. Rules voted 9 in favor, 0 against, as amended. And so I'd like to move my amendment, please.
All right. So Councilmember Johnston is on Bill 2021-596. She has an amendment. Proper motion, proper second. Back to you for an explanation of the amendment.
The amendment is just correcting a clerical error from the last time that we adopted the code on June the 10th. That date carried over and it needed to be changed to September the 15th, 2020. So that's all that does.
All right. So Councilmember Johnston has moved passage of amendment number 1. Again, properly seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? If I can get my cursor over. See nobody in the queue. We're on amendment number 1. All those in favor of amendment number 1 say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Opposed, no. Amendment number 1 passes 39-4-0 against. Mr. Cooper.
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Heacock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Roden, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Druffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Richard, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Salisbury, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right. So amendment number 1, 39-4-0 against. Any changes to that? All right. Seeing none. Okay. Councilmember Johnston, you're back on your bill as amended.
Thank you. This is just readopting our code like we do every so often. It's very routine, so I move its approval, please.
All right. Councilmember Johnston has moved the Bill 2021-596 as amended, properly seconded. Any discussion on the bill? We're on second reading. Seeing nobody in the queue, all those in favor of Bill 2021-596 as amended on second reading, say aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Looks like it's 39-4-0 against. Mr. Cooper.
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Roden, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Druffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Bircher, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Stiles, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right. Bill passes as amended, 39-4-0 against. Any corrections to that? Seeing none. Bill passes. Motion passes on second reading. Okay, we're on item number 29, Bill 2021-597. Sponsors are Council Members Parker, Toombs, Murphy, Nash, Mendez, and O'Connell, and others. Ordinance approving a participation agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, acting by and through the Department of Public Works and Monroe Infrastructure, LLC, for the construction of public infrastructure in Phase 1A of River North. Councilmember Parker, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So this is the River North Participation Agreement. This is an agreement that would fund $13.8 million of infrastructure improvements to the area around Cowan Street, next to the Topgolf. We had a lot of discussion about this in committee. I think that there were some valid questions and concerns brought up by budget committee members about what exactly this agreement entails and how it relates to the okay, I apologize. I think I might be ahead of myself a little bit here with discussion.
We need committee reports, but that's okay.
Yes, sir. Committee reports, please.
All right. Budget and Finance, Councilmember Toombs.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval with a re-referral to the Budget and Finance Committee, 10-4, 1 against.
All right. Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Murphy.
Thank you. As amended, we voted 17 in favor, 0 against, and I think citizens information to us as well.
All right, Councilmember Murphy, you froze for a minute. Are you saying that you want to bring it back to planning and zoning, re-referral? Okay.
I think that would be best since more information has come out.
Okay, what's scary is that I could read your mind as you were stuck. All right. Public Works, Councilmember Nash, you're recognized.
Public Works recommended approval 10-4, 1 against with a referral back to Public Works on third reading.
All right. Councilmember Parker, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So do I need to make a motion before I give any kind of explanation, or should I?
Well, go ahead. So you've got, I think you have amendment on this one. Is that correct?
Yes, I have. There's one amendment to move. This amendment. Should I just move it?
Go ahead and move the amendment.
I'll move the amendment, yes.
Okay, I've got a motion on the amendment, number 1, properly seconded. Back to you for an explanation of the amendment.
Yes, thank you, Vice Mayor. So this amendment just makes a couple of small adjustments, specifically related to the establishment of the Central Business Improvement District. So this Central Business Improvement District is essentially a property tax surcharge, in a sense. And pardon me, I'm pulling it up now. This amendment does 3 things. Firstly, this amendment introduces language that is essentially like a nuclear escape clause. If Metro's finances were such that we were really having to hammer down on life safety, education, absolutely essential functions of government. This amendment would essentially say that, participation in this agreement is subject to the availability of funds. The other thing that this amendment does is change the language around the establishment of a Central Business Improvement District in this area, so the area covered by this participation agreement. It adds a new section 4, clarifying that it's the intent of the Metropolitan Council to establish a Central Business Improvement District, either by resolution or by petition. What that means essentially is that there might come a vote in the future where this body would be asked to establish a Central Business Improvement District for this area that's covered by this $13.8 million public investment. So we wanted to make it clear to the council that that avenue of establishing the Central Business Improvement District might be utilized in the future. Additionally, we removed some language that would have, tied us to terms and rates similar to those applied in the downtown CBID. The reason for that is because with the CBID in this area, we really want to focus that on the increased revenue from that on paying off the debt for improvements to the district. And it wasn't clear that, the downtown district worked in that way specifically. It covers a much larger area with a much larger group of interests and property owners and whatnot. So we felt it appropriate to, it might end up looking very much like the downtown rates and the downtown uses, but we didn't want to not be able to sort of steer this revenue directly to debt service, the additional revenue from the CBID. So I believe that, we've reached a really good spot with this legislation so far. There are some additional concerns, specifically out of Budget Committee. We had concerns around just a lot of the mechanics, the specifics, and the finances of this plan. We've asked Budget Committee members, and I would ask every member of this body to get any questions, concerns that you have to Director Cooper before the next meeting. Actually, we've asked for those to be in by Friday. Questions about this participation agreement to Director Cooper by Friday. and hopefully we'll be able to address those before the next meeting. Additionally, I've asked Finance to, if you look at the legislation in the third recital, there is mention of an estimation of our expected revenues from this property, property tax revenues. I've asked Finance for a much more detailed breakdown, not only of our estimated revenues, but our the liabilities that we will be accepting when we accept these public roads and greenways and park space as a city. So just to really get an idea of the accounting of what the bottom line impact that this kind of arrangement is going to have on Metro. And I hope to have that to council members by today's meeting, but it wasn't ready. Additionally, the second major concern that arose in committee was
Councilmember Parker, let me stop you for just a minute. So I'm getting a note that you've gone over your 4 minutes. Why don't we? Well, so your motion is to approve amendment number 1, right? That's where we are. So let's.
My apologies. Goodness gracious, I'm sorry.
That's all right. So you're still on amendment number 1. Which was properly seconded. Let me see if there's any discussion on that, and then we'll see if the amendment goes on, and then we can have discussion on the bill. Councilmember Glover, on the amendment or on the bill as amended?
No, sir, on the bill as amended. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. So there's nobody else. Councilmember Henderson, on the amendment or on the bill as amended?
On the amendment, please, sir.
Okay. Councilmember Henderson, you're recognized.
Okay, thank you. I want to speak in support of the amendment and pose a few questions, if I may. I really do appreciate that a business improvement district is being utilized here, and I kind of want to bring the council's attention to the importance of us as a city that is 532 square miles and very behind on infrastructure, of using business improvement districts, not just downtown, not in the Gulch, but out in suburban contexts, because it will help us fund and retire the debt on infrastructure when we choose to engage in infrastructure participation agreements like this. My question is, Section 4 language says it is hereby the intent of the Metropolitan Council to establish a central business improvement district, either by resolution or by petition as provided in TCA. Mr. Jameson, can you speak to whether the partners to the agreement are friendly to that? This is not shall language, it's intent. I know there's multiple parties to it and that it will be done in time, but I'm generally supportive of this amendment, but I do need a clarification around intent, please.
So, Mr. Jameson, you're recognized. I had trouble finding you on the screen, and then I just found you. So, Mr. Jameson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm very modest, so I hang out in the back, but I appreciate being recognized.
All right.
Councilor Henderson, thank you for your question. And yes, this has been negotiated with the private enterprise parties, and they are willing and agreeable to the implementation of a CBID. A CBID, you've dealt with these before, at least downtown and at the Gulch and in South Nashville. Somewhat complicated to put together, requires an assessment of the improvements once in place, evaluation of those improvements, surveys, boundary projections. So there's nothing we could put together today because we lack most of those things, including namely the improvements themselves and what the valuation is. Then you take that and determine what is the commensurate tax rate that would pay for it. In this instance, the additional assessment is intended to pay for Metro's contribution to this, so that at the end of the day, the infrastructure that is being paid for by Metro gets paid for eventually by those who get the value from it. So we don't have anything to put into before the parties today. Wanted, just sort of in the interest of transparency, to make clear to the council that this will be coming back to them, because at the end of the day, they vote on and implement the CBID in one of two ways, as Councilman Parker explained, either by the petition or by the resolution.
Councilmember Henderson.
I appreciate that. So, Mr. Jameson, what I heard you say is that the parties to this agreement are willing and agreeable to a business improvement district. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and can you also clarify, at present, one property owner, developer, or I guess master developer, but in time, have you all thought through the process by which you would effectuate this petition or agreement, and who would lead that effort? Is the developer, the current developer, committing to do that? Is that something that would be led by the city? I just would like to clarify that as well, please.
It's in conjunction. We'll be working with each other. We do have a letter on its way from Monroe, signed by their CEO, clearly expressing their willingness to help implement the CBID. We can't pull triggers now because we don't have anything to assess, much less the improvements to evaluate and value.
Understood. Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you, Councilmember Henderson. Councilmember Mendez, on the amendment or on the bill as amended?
I was going to call the question, but it doesn't look like there's anybody else.
There was nobody else, so we're ready to vote. So we're on amendment number 1. Okay. All those in favor of amendment number 1, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Looks like it's 39-0. Mr. Cooper.
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Broughton, Syracuse, Welsh, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Truffle, Murphy, Foley, Johnston, Nash, Virtue, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Siles, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right, so the vote is 39-4-0 against on amendment number 1. Now, Councilmember Parker, you're on your bill as amended.
Okay. Thank you, Vice Mayor. I think I already detailed a little bit, and I would encourage council members to go back and review the Budget and Finance Committee meeting. There was a lot of discussion there as well. When we made it to Public Works, we basically didn't have any time to address another potential issue with this proposal. So essentially what Metro is purchasing here is infrastructure improvements, roadways, and all of the pipes and right-of-ways and whatnot that go underneath them. The roadways as configured in the proposal, I would say are not conducive to Vision Zero. They're not conducive to a Safe Streets approach, to how we design our streets. We have very wide lane widths specified in the agreement as it stands. We also have mixed bicycle and pedestrian areas, which can be very dangerous and very ineffective. I'm working with Public Works. I'm working with some of the private enterprise folks to try to come up with an amendment for that. But I think it is very important that when we have an opportunity like this with a clean slate that we get things right. And so I just wanted to draw everyone's attention to that as well. And we're hoping to have an amendment on 3rd for that. So I'm gonna move to pass this on 2nd reading, to re-refer it to Budget, to Planning, and to Public Works committees. And to also put it on public hearing for the first meeting in February.
All right, so the motion is to pass it on 2nd, refer it back to Budget, Planning, Public Works, and have a public hearing on the first meeting in February. It's been properly seconded. Mr. Cooper, can we do that? I don't know if we have enough time for the notice.
There actually doesn't have to be a public notice since the public hearing is not required by law. So if the council votes with a 2/3 vote to hold a public hearing, then it can be done under the council rules.
Okay. All right. So thank you for the clarification. So let me repeat the motion again, and I know it was seconded by Councilmember Hurd. The motion is to approve this on 2nd reading, Bill 2021-597 as amended. Refer the bill back when it gets to 3rd reading back to Budget and Finance, Planning and Zoning, and to Public Works, and have a public hearing set for the first meeting in February, which is our next meeting. That's the motion, again, properly seconded. Discussion, Councilmember Glover.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Mr. Cooper, if you don't mind, I actually, because I had an issue that came up today and I had a conflict on time, could not be in all of the budget and finance meeting today. I was actually there for quite a bit of it. And I kept pushing the mute, unmute, and it never came through. So I tried to listen. On this, I did not get a full synopsis. So rather than eating a lot of time tonight, Mr. Cooper, if you'll just reach out to me at some point tomorrow and just give me an overview of what the take was tonight, I would appreciate that. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Glover. I've got Councilmember Bradford. You're recognized. Well, your hand's now down. Change your mind?
Change my mind. I'll reach out to the mayor's office.
All right. Councilor Mendez, you're recognized.
I guess I was just going to ask about the public hearing. I know that's unusual. Is the idea to have commentary on the bike lane issue or all aspects of this? I guess I'm just fuzzy about the purpose of the public hearing.
Councilmember Parker.
So, really, I think that we haven't done a great job of communicating to the public the benefit of agreements like this. I think that every economic development deal should have a public hearing. I think this should be a matter of course, in my opinion, especially in the context of, we're exiting a capital spending freeze. I think that we need to be able to make a case to the public about why this is a good investment for the city, why we're going to get a good return on it. We need to be able to show that to people. And if people have concerns, I think we should hear them.
Councilmember Mendez.
I appreciate the response. I get tripped up over the fact that it's like 2.5 years ago that this spending was approved. But I appreciate the response. I appreciate the response. I have a concern that having a public hearing on third reading is, it's just unusual. I have nothing else, Vice Mayor.
Okay. Councilmember O'Connell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I really appreciate the sponsors, elaboration on the issues that have come up, and I support the effort to get more resolution of both the predominant issue that came up in budget and finance, as well as in public works on an infrastructure basis. I would have a much easier time supporting just the deferral and re-referral to committees, kind of echoing Councilmember Mendez's point. I'm not convinced that we actually do the public any favors by doing this on third reading. I know it is potentially amendable at that point, but having heard the administration's commentary earlier in committee, this is a project that has now spanned multiple terms, and I've been paying close attention to it because of its adjacency to District 19, where I know we have looked at various bits of infrastructure that could potentially cross the river, create some great new connectivity to Germantown, and where I think a lot of my constituents have followed the project with interest. I don't know if I am yet ready to agree with Councilmember Parker that all such initiatives should have a public hearing. I think part of the reason we implemented the Do Better bill last term was specifically to start to give the public better confidence that we were vetting these deals. And I know Councilmember Mendez has spoken to the importance of establishing basically a framework whereby we communicate that value more fully. I think the Cooper administration is generally committed to that principle. And I'm going to have a hard time supporting the public hearing, but I would support the other parts of the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember O'Connell. Councilmember Young, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. So anyone who was in Budget Committee this afternoon or evening knows that some of this has given me great pause and wanting to learn a little bit more. However, I do not see the wisdom at all in a public hearing, especially because it would be on third, and it is at the risk of sounding elite or all-knowing, this is one of the items that we as a council will deal with that is not as black and white or cut and dry as things such as a rezoning, where we would have a public hearing and it would impact someone's immediate neighborhood. This is a complex math equation, and I'm in no way suggesting that citizens cannot, do math and come up with their own analysis. However, I think there's a number of reasons why this could go in a really bad direction, and what I mean by that is, as is the case with as is typical with economic development proposals and deals, there are certain things that even we as a council are not privy to with some of the parties sometimes because of I'm just afraid this might scare away a potential win for this city. Because my objections thus far have not been with necessarily the overall intent of what this is trying to do, but with part of the communication and process of how it got here. And I would certainly urge us to not add a public hearing to it. Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Van Rees.
Good evening. I'm a bit bewildered, and it might be just because I think you're seeing a little bit of first term, second term head scratching, because we went through an analysis of this in 2018, and there's a lot of discussion about it. And we are definitely wanting to understand and hear the support of the district council member where this project sits. And if you feel like, or if the council member rather has not feel like his district is well enough aware of the project, then there's definitely 2 weeks to make a community meeting happen so that questions can be answered. But a public hearing is usually about concerns on a project that has just come to light. And this is something that's been in discussion and in development for a very, very long time. And so I don't want anybody to lose sight of the fact that this is not a brand new project just because it's on second hearing, because it's really sort of the phasing in of what we've agreed to do already. So I do not believe that a public hearing is necessary. Now, a community meeting may be needed, but a public hearing from the whole county may be redundant because we've already kind of gone through this before. I also echo Council Member Young's concern that development happens for a reason, right? Public investment happens because you're developing walkable communities and places for people to live, and people people have jobs, and there's all these different reasons for public investment. And all of those boxes have been checked. And so I don't see any reason at all to delay approval of second reading, having given the 2 weeks for the council member to be able to communicate directly with the constituents of District 5, to continue clarity discussions that may be necessary for him to come back to us on third reading with any necessary amendments or not. But I think that now's the time to move forward on something that the entire city can be extremely confident in. That's why I added my name as a co-sponsor to the project. And I'm looking forward to seeing my colleagues approve this and be very, very proud of it in the long run.
Vice Mayor, point of order.
Councilmember Mendez, point of order.
I'd like to ask Mr. Cooper if it's a proper motion to combine the approval and re-referral with the request for a public hearing. It seemed odd, I mentioned before, I think there's a different voting threshold for the two parts of that motion.
There is.
Mr. Cooper.
Rule 28 is specific to motions for a public hearing, and it indicates a singular motion to hold the public hearing, which has to have a 2/3 vote to hold the public hearing at a subsequent meeting. The motion to approve on second reading and re-refer to committee is just a majority of those present and voting.
Mr. Vice Mayor, I would submit that the pending motion is not a proper motion and would request the sponsor to withdraw it and just move to approve on second reading with re-referral to the committees.
So I'm going to go back to Mr. Councilmember Parker. He was going to be recognized anyway. Councilmember Parker, what do you want to do?
Well, I believe that public input is really important in these kind of public investments. It was brought up that we passed the Do Better bill, this, that, and the other. This is a participation agreement. This doesn't go before the IDB. When it was passed as a line item in the capital spending plan, that was a $20 million line item. They didn't say how that was going to work. Public Works could have done that work themselves, or it could have been. We didn't know it was going to be a participation agreement at that point. So yes, there was a public hearing for that capital spending plan, but we haven't had a public hearing on this arrangement. I believe. Director Cooper, if I were to make a motion to place this on public hearing for the first meeting in February, would it be proper to do that? Oh, yes. Excuse me. Is the motion as I presented it proper?
I really think it needs to be two motions, because you kind of made a compound motion that has different voting thresholds, and the rule 28 contemplates a motion to hold a public hearing. So I think if you have that motion considered first, then you can move to approve or whatever else you want after that. It's just splitting the motions up into two.
Thank you. Okay. Then let's move to hold a public hearing so that we can have some input from the public on this arrangement, which is new and has not had a public hearing on it.
Vice Chair?
I'm not. Councilmember Van Rees, I think that was you.
Yes, I need him to, I would ask him to withdraw the current motion as it is improper, and then he can make a new one.
So, so we're trying to get to that point, Councilmember Van Rees, but you're right. So let's. So I think you can withdraw the first motion, since it seems to be it's not appropriate within our rules. So let's get that one done. You're just going to pull the existing motion off the table.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll withdraw the motion from the table.
Okay, so that's withdrawn. Mr. Cooper, I'm watching you. So now we've got the motion off. Now, what you want to do is you want to split the two motions, correct? And the first motion that I just heard you make is you want to make a motion to have a public hearing on the first meeting in February, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to split the motions. First meeting is to have a public hearing, the first meeting in February, properly seconded. Back to you for discussion, and then we'll split the amendments, or we'll split the motions. So members of the council were on the first motion, Councilmember Parker's motion to have a public hearing on the first meeting in February.
Yes, Vice Mayor. I mean, I detailed it a little bit just a minute ago. I don't see the potential harm in having a public hearing on a matter like this. I think it's a good deal. I think it's the right thing to do for Nashville. I don't think that allowing public input is going to prevent this from moving forward. I mean, just in my district, we've had meetings about this, and there's a ton of support. I think it's a great thing, and I'd love to hear from more folks around the county about it as well as in my district. Now, I'll yield the floor, Vice Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, so I've got people still in the queue from before, so I'm going to go through that and then see who wants to talk about this first motion. So, Councilmember Withers, you were next in line. Do you want to talk on this particular motion? Councilmember Withers.
Yes, Mr. Vice Mayor.
Okay, you're recognized.
Thank you. And, I love the spirit of community engagement that my colleague, Councilmember Parker, has. I mean, I think he totally is coming from the right place. It's the wrong time. This has been discussed, this project overall has been discussed with Metro for many, many, many years, was extensively discussed in the Metro Council last time. And having a public hearing on third and final reading, it's been said before, but I'm going to restate it. Having a public hearing on third and final reading, we're sort of inviting the public, setting the public up to think that they're going to have more input than they are, maybe. If the public wants to vote this up or down, that they can easily email all of us to vote it up or down. But in terms of our public concerns about how the roads are going to be designed, which is something that we've talked about, are those things going to be handled on third reading? I don't believe that's true. I think that some good questions have been asked about designing the roads and some of those things from an infrastructure standpoint. And we've asked, council colleagues have been asked to provide questions to the administration about that. Ideally, those would be answered or not. But it's not like we're going to have public hearing about the design of this project at this stage. And I think furthermore, what we find a lot of times when we begin a final site plan is that final site plans get worked out with Metro departments anyway, that sometimes conditions on the ground require adjustments and things of that nature anyway. So I believe that council members have already been asked to provide some questions, particularly as it pertains to the design of roads and bike lanes. We've already been given a deadline of when to submit those questions. There's already an expectation that those will be answered by a third reading. I think that's great. But in terms of public engagement beyond that at the last minute, I think we're setting the public up for a little bit of a failure in terms of giving them expectations of input that other than an up or down vote aren't going to happen. So I really, really appreciate Councilmember Parker's desire to have more community engagement on a participation agreement, but I think it's the wrong time to do it. And I would encourage colleagues to vote no on this amendment respectfully. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilor Withers. I've got Councilmember Suara. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. As one of the people that is new to the council and not privy to the conversations that happened before, when I first saw the bill, I had some questions and I got those questions answered. And even from the budget committee conversation, everyone agreed that there's a whole lot more benefits to the city with this arrangement. The city is not just giving money to a company, the city is partnering to have much needed infrastructures in area that needs the development. Councilmember Parker also shared some of the financial benefits of this arrangement. And so we overwhelmingly agreed that this is a good deal and one that would help everyone. I also heard on that in that committee that if we do not move forward, there is a tendency that we might lose the deal for whatever reason. And this is a deal that is good. I was one of the people that asked for a deferral, but listening into the administration and the responses, it seems as if we all say this is a good deal, if this is going to help our community, if it's going to make things grow, it seems like something that, and discussed overwhelmingly last time. From my perspective, looking at the numbers, it seems like a good deal, and everyone agreed on that. As far as the public hearing is concerned, I don't think it's warranted. I think that if we want to have more conversation, which we should, I'm not against that. I think it's always good to talk to our community. I will agree that Councilmember Parker can do more outreach. We all can. I have no problem speaking out about why I support it and why I think it's a good deal, and how this is a partnership that allows us to be able to use public money or private money investment to be able to do some of the infrastructure need that we have. So we have the responsibility to make sure we answer those questions, to make sure that we keep the community involved and we keep the community engaged, and we should do that. Therefore, since the public hearing is not warranted for this bill, and it's not going to impact the vote, my recommendation is we should still do the public engagement, but I will ask the council member and my colleagues, all of us, to do that without necessarily holding a project that we all agree is good for the city, a project that we think is an investment, and that we should not hold that up with the public hearing, but rather that we agree or we continue to inform the community and take the questions and answer that outside of the public hearing. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Suara. Councilmember Henderson, you're next.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. I want to speak in support of the district council members' request for a public hearing. I do understand colleagues' concern about that as well, because it is somewhat unprecedented. Like Councilman Withers, I concur based on the conversation in Public Works Committee that it's likely that the re-referral to Public Works Committee will be sufficient in the intervening time to look at some of the real concerns, and colleagues, I would make you aware of that came up in Public Works about the bikeway infrastructure, the lane widths, and so forth. And so if I don't see those addressed, I'm not going to support this. But generally, I think the reason that I support a public hearing and that motion is I do not think that we as a city have had the conversations that we need to have about infrastructure participation agreements. We kind of get ourselves in this place of somewhat of brinksmanship on one side, but on the other side, oh, well, we already proved this, and we already proved that, and we did the 20 million bucket for it back in the CSP when nobody really knew what was in that bucket. And so, we check that box as we move on down the line, but we have not, as a city, really had a conversation about, on what principles and by which parameters do we do these infrastructure participation agreements. Councilman Mendez said it well in Budget and Finance. The administration has really not explained this very well. Why does this benefit the city? Why do we do these agreements? Why are we going to spend $13.8 million in a 60-40 split with this developer for infrastructure that we will pay for and then accept and then maintain in perpetuity? That's already participation, colleagues. So, Century Farms was a 50-50 split. Nashville Yards was a 20-80 split. And I just think that it affords us the opportunity, and the onus is on us and on the administration to tell citizens why, when, again, We can't deliver a simple bikeway completion. We are in a complete capital spending freeze, but we can move heaven and earth for a developer who comes to the mayor's office. The state gets involved. We've got a big corporate partner, and we've just got to get it done. Okay, so what do our citizens think about that when they can't get their sidewalk, they can't get their traffic calming? So we do need to have a conversation about this. And we always say, well, we'll talk about it next time. We'll talk about it next time. And so we did do good work with the Do Better bill. But as present with infrastructure participation, this mayor said we were going to do business a different way. And these are still deals that take place in the mayor's office in a not sufficiently transparent, in my view. And I think if this is a good deal for the city, which I very much hope it is, then we should be able to present that clearly to our citizens so that they can come and say, hey, I think these are good. I'm glad that we do these. This one's good. We need it here for this project. So I think it affords us the opportunity to justify these projects. And if we can't justify this project and we don't think it will stand up to public scrutiny, then what are we even doing? So I would encourage us not to be afraid of a public hearing, but to take it as an opportunity to share why these are appropriate and why they are good for the city. So with that, I do support the public hearing motion. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Council Member. Council Member Hancock, you're recognized.
I'd like to call the question, please.
Okay, Councilmember Hancock has called the previous question. So let me tell you where we are. We're going to vote on the previous question, but it's we have a motion in front of us to have a public hearing on this measure. The previous question has been called. All those in favor of the previous question say aye.
Aye. Yes, please.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, no?
No.
No.
All right, so I heard 2 no's. I think I heard Councilmember O'Connell, and I heard 1 other no.
Councilmember Porterfield.
Councilmember Porterfield voted no. Anybody else?
Councilwoman Sepulveda.
Okay, so that's 3 no's. All right, so the vote would be 36 for the previous question and 3 against. Mr. Cooper?
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Roden, Syracuse, Welch, Sledge, Cash, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Gruffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Vercher, Rutherford, Stiles, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg. Voting no, O'Connell, Porterfield, and Sepulveda.
Okay, so previous question prevails 36 for and 3 against. Any switches to that? All right, we're on the motion, Councilmember Parker's motion to have a public hearing on this matter on the first meeting in February. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, no?
No. 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 No.
No.
All right, so I can't tell the vote, so we're on the board. Madam Clerk? The motion is by Councilmember Parker to have a public hearing on this measure on the first meeting in February. Mr. Cooper, based upon, I'm checking the rules, it's Rule 28.
Yes, it would
back
take
to the rule.
7 votes, 2/3 of 39.
It will take 2/3, so it's going to take how many votes? I don't have my calculator.
26 and a half, but you round up.
26 and a half. I don't know if we have any members that count as half, so it's going to take 27 votes to pass. Councilmember Withers says he counts as a half. Okay. All right. So, Madam Clerk.
Point of order.
Point of order.
2/3 of 39 is 25.999, so it would be 26.
So, Mr. Cooper?
I was not using a calculator. I was doing that in my head. So, but I've asked, I've got our staff confirming that. Hang on just a second.
Okay.
I've got
39 divided by 3 is 13.
Hold on, everybody.
Can I add one thing to that? Is somebody who abstained considered present and voting, Mr. Cooper?
Hold on. Okay, so that's a point of order. That's appropriate. So I'll let Mr. Cooper answer that.
Someone who abstains would not be, that would be considered voting, I guess. But so it wouldn't change the majority number that you needed.
Thank you.
And another point of order. Did you say, Mr. Cooper, that it is a majority of those present or a majority of the body?
It's a majority of those present and voting. Let me pull the rule up to make sure I'm right. Yes, 2/3 vote of the council members present at such meeting. So it's those who are present. So you would need 2/3 of 39.
So we're checking the numbers.
I don't have a calculator with me, or I would have done it. But Councilmember,
39 divided by 3 is 13. 2 times 13 is 26.
So there you go.
The actual number is 25.74.
Oh, come on, y'all. It's 26.
I am checking myself.
0.66 is 25.74.
It's the new math. It's 48.
I just asked Alexa and she said 26.
It's 26. I just calculated it myself.
If Alexa said it.
5.74.
Okay, everybody hold on. This is an important vote. So you need 26 votes. So, Madam Clerk,
Hello.
There you are. We ready to vote?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're on the board. Madam Clerk, if you would, we're voting on the motion to have a public hearing on the first meeting in February. Councilmember Parker's motion. Open up the machines.
Councilman Mendez.
No.
Hurt.
No.
Allen.
No.
Glover.
No.
Suara.
No.
Hall is leave on attendance. Toombs.
No.
Gamble.
No.
Swope.
No.
Parker.
Yes.
Withers.
No.
Benedict.
No.
Van Reed.
No.
Hancock.
No.
Young.
No.
Hager.
No.
Evans.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
I believe that was a yes.
Correct.
Thank you. Roten.
No.
Syracuse.
No.
Welsh.
No.
Sledge.
Nope.
Cash.
No.
O'Connell.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Taylor.
No.
Hauser.
No.
No.
Wait a minute. We just had Councilmember Hauser, unless your voice changed. Only I heard the no, and then somebody else voted no.
Yes,
So I think
Councilman Taylor and Councilmember Hauser voted no.
Okay.
Councilmember Druffel.
No.
Murphy.
Yes.
Pulley.
No.
Johnston.
Yes.
Nash.
No.
Bircher.
Yes.
Porterfield.
No.
Sepulveda. No. Rutherford.
No.
Stiles.
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Henderson. Councilmember Henderson.
Councilman Rosenberg.
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson. Councilmember Henderson. So I don't see Councilmember Henderson on the screen anymore. Okay.
Vice Mayor, I count 11 in favor, 27 against.
Say it again.
11 in favor, 27 against.
That's what I've got. Mr. Cooper?
Same.
Okay. So 11 for, 27 against. The motion fails. Councilmember Parker, back to you.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I will bring forth the other part of my initial motion, which would be to move to pass this on second reading and re-refer it to the Planning and Zoning, Budget and Finance, and Public Works Committees.
All right.
Second.
All right. So I've got a motion to pass on 2021-597 as amended on second reading and refer them back to Budget and Finance, Planning and Zoning, and the Public Works Committee. Properly seconded. Any further discussion on this? Councilmember Glover?
Yes. Once again, I'll make this very quick. So, Mr. Cooper, tomorrow, please talk with me, walk through this, because I'm sorry I missed the Budget and Finance meeting today, but I thought we'd already had a lot of this resolved. So I just want to make sure I'm up to speed. Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm sorry to reiterate that.
No problem. Thank you, Councilmember Glover. Councilmember Suara, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I just wanted to say to the sponsor and to the rest of my colleagues that public education is what we need, not necessarily the area in which we voted down, but we have the opportunity to, if Councilmember Parker wants to do something in his district, or if we want to put information out, it's important that we educate the community, and that's very crucial, and we can still go ahead and do that. So thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember. All right. That's it in the queue. We are ready to vote. We're on the motion to adopt on second reading 2021-597 as amended and re-refer back to the respective committees. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes 39-4, against. I know Councilmember Henderson is back online. Mr. Cooper, you're recognized.
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Doonan, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Broughton, Syracuse, Welsh, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Gruffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Richard, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Sowsley, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right. That's 39-4, against. The motion passes on second reading. All right. Mr. Cooper, I believe that takes care of all measures on second reading. Am I correct? I'm just double checking. Okay. All right. So we are now move on to bills on third reading. I'm going to pull up the consent calendar on third reading. Make sure I've got it correct. This is ordinances on third reading. I'll go through these slowly. I've got item number 35, which is on page 12. BL 2025-25 is on consent. Item number 37, BL 2025-65 is on consent. 566, 567, 568, 570, 571, 572, 574, 575, 576, 577, 579, 580, 583, 584, 585, 587, 588, 589, 590, and 591. Those are all the matters on the consent calendar. Anything needs to be bumped off? I'm checking. I don't see anybody in the queue. Okay, these are the bills on third reading on consent. Item number 35, BL 2025-25 by Councilmember Porterfield, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from R20 to IWD zoning for property located at Ned Shelton Road, unnumbered southwest of the intersection of Ned Shelton Road and Bell Road. BL 2025-65 by Toombs, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS 7.5 and R6 to SP zoning for properties located at 819 West Trinity Lane, or West Trinity Lane unnumbered and Brownload Street unnumbered at the northwest corner of West Trinity Lane and Brownload Street, 12.14 acres. BL 2025-66 by Councilmember Roten, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS 15 to SP zoning for properties located at 3941 and 3957 Dodson Chapel Road, approximately 175 feet south of Central Pike. BL 2025-67 by Councilmember Welch, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS 7.5 to SP zoning for property located at 200 Raymond Street, approximately 180 feet north of Veritas Street, 0.33 acres. BL 2025-68 by Councilmember Benedict, ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by changing from R6 to RM15A zoning for property located at 1119 Chester Avenue, approximately 445 feet east of Gallatin Avenue. It's 0.32 acres. BL 2025-70 by Councilmember Parker, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS5 to R6A zoning for property located at 223 Lucille Street, 0.16 acres, approximately 200 feet west of Meridian Street. BL 2025-71 by Councilmember Toombs, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from IWD to MUG-NS zoning for property located at 44 Vantage Way, approximately 370 feet east of French Landing Drive, 7.83 acres. BL 2025-72 by Councilmember Johnston, ordinance to amend Title 17 by canceling a portion of a Plain Unit Development Overlay District for property located at 451 Elysian Fields Road, 650 feet west of Nolensville Pike, zoned OR20 within the Nolensville Pike Corridor Design Overlay District. BL 2025-74 by Councilmember Benedict, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS10 to R10 zoning for property located at 1310 Cardinal Avenue, approximately 360 feet east of Kennedy Avenue. It's 0.23 acres. BL 2025-75 by Councilmember O'Connell, ordinance to amend Title 17 by applying an historic landmark overlay district to property located at 161 Rosedale Parks Boulevard, approximately 130 feet north of Commerce Street. BL 2025-76 by Councilmember Parker, ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by changing from IR to SP zoning for property located at 111 North 1st Street at the northeast corner of James Robertson Parkway and North 1st Street, 16.72 acres, to permit a mixed-use development. BL 2025-77 by Councilmember Toombs, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from R8 to IWD zoning for property located at 437 Haney Avenue, approximately 1,190 feet west of Big Church Pike. BL 2025-79 by Councilmember Stiles, an ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from SP to MUL zoning for a portion of property located at 5400 Mount View Road. It's approximately 380 feet east of Crossings Boulevard. It's 2.96 acres. BL 2025-80 by Councilmember Young, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from CS to RM20A zoning for properties located at 1176 and 1180 Dickerson Pike, approximately 640 feet southwest of Robert Cartwright Drive, 0.72 acres. BL 2025-83 by Taylor, Swara, Murphy, and Welsh, ordinance approving a tri-party agreement between the Metropolitan Government and Tailor-Made Contracting LLC concerning transfers of the property located at 1507A and 1507B 14th Avenue North. Bill 2025-84 by Toombs, Welsh, Horton, and others. Ordinance approving Amendment 1 to a contract by and between the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Metropolitan Tourism and Convention Commission and the Nashville Convention and Visitors Bureau to provide tourism and convention sales and marketing services. BL 2025-85 by Councilmember Parker, Toombs, and Murphy. Ordinance approving a lease agreement between the Metropolitan Government and Pet Community Center for office space at the real property located at 943B Dr. Richard G. Adams Drive. BL 2025-87 by Allen and Nash, ordinance amending substitute ordinance BL 2019-1653 to amend the requirement that a flag of the Metropolitan Government be presented to the family of a current or former elected metropolitan official, including a current or former member of the Metropolitan County Council upon the official's death. BL 2025-88 by Withers, Murphy, and Nash, ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to abandon existing water and sanitary sewer mains, manholes, and easements, replace one fire hydrant assembly, to accept new water and sanitary sewer mains, manholes and easements for 8 properties located on South 5th Street, South 6th Street, Davidson Street, and Crutcher Street, also known as the Casey Utility Phase 1A development. That's Withers, Murphy, and Nash. And BL 2025-89, Rutherford, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to accept new water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assembly, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at Burkett Road Unnumbered, also known as Burkett Ridge Phase 5. BL 2025-90 by Toombs, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to abandon existing sanitary sewer mains, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements, and to accept new sanitary sewer and water mains, manholes, fire hydrant assemblies, and easements for property located at 926 West Trinity Lane, also known as City View Estates. And BL 2025-91, Roberts, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to accept a new sanitary sewer main, sanitary sewer manhole, and easements for property located at 7262 Centennial Place. Those are the items on the consent calendar on third reading. Anything needs to be bumped off of there? Seeing none, I need committee reports, and I think it's all Councilmember Murphy. It is. Planning and zoning.
Yes, sir. We've got 2025-25, 17 in favor, 0 against. 565, 17 in favor, 0 against. 566, 17 in favor, 0 against. 567, 17 in favor, 0 against. 568, 17 in favor, 0 against. 570, 17 in favor, 0 against. 571, 17 in favor, 0 against. 572 and 574, 17 in favor, 0 against. Taking us to 575 and 576, 17 in favor, 0 against. 577, 579, 17 in favor, 0 against. And 580, 17 in favor, 0 against. And I believe that is the end of the committee reports needed for this consent agenda. And so I move the consent agenda.
All right, Councilmember Murphy has moved the consent agenda on third reading, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of items on the consent calendar on third reading, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Looks like it's 39-4, against. Mr. Cooper?
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Bean, Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Broughton, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Druffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Richard, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Sowsley, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right, 39-4, against. Any changes to that? All right. The reading of the consent calendar on third reading passes 39-4, 0 against. We are now back on bills that were not on the consent calendar. I'm on item number 33, Bill 2025-17 by Councilmember Rutherford. That's an ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from AR2A to SV zoning for properties located at 5866 Pettis Road and Pettis Road Unnumbered, approximately 1,120 feet north of Sundown Drive. It's 44.44 acres. Permit 136 detached single family and attached single family units. Councilmember Rutherford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Committee reports, please.
All right, planning and zoning, Councilmember Murphy.
17 in favor, 0 against to defer one meeting.
All right, Councilmember Rutherford.
That's my motion to defer one meeting, please.
Okay, the motion is to defer one meeting, properly seconded. Any discussion on the deferral motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the deferral motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. 39-4, 0 against. Mr. Cooper?
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Broughton, Syracuse, Welsh, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Druffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Richard, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Sowsley, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
Okay, 39-4, 0 against for the motion to defer one meeting. Any changes? Motion is approved. Well, on item number 34, it's BL 2025-22 by Councilmember Stiles. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from AR2A to RM20NS zoning. Properties located at 5118 Mountain View Road and Mountain View Road Unnumbered, approximately 360 feet west of Highlander Drive. It's 9.4 acres. Councilmember Stiles, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
All right, Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Murphy.
17 in favor, 0 against the bill as amended.
All right, Councilmember Stiles, you're recognized.
Yes, Vice Mayor, I'd like to move for approval, please.
Okay, you have an amendment. You need to move the amendment. Okay.
I'd like to move approval on the amendment first.
Okay, so Councilmember Stiles has moved an amendment to BL 2025-22, properly seconded. Back to you for an explanation of the amendment.
This amendment makes sure that there are only 2 entrances to this development and no more.
All right. Any questions on the amendment? Councilmember Stiles has moved the amendment, again, properly seconded. Nobody's in the queue. All those in favor of the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, no. Looks like it's 39-0. Mr. Cooper?
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Roten, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Druffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Ashford, Richard, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Childs, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
Okay, 39-4-0 against. Any changes to that? Okay, amendment passes. Councilmember Stiles, you're on your bill as amended.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Now I would like to move for approval.
Okay, so Councilmember Stiles has moved for approval of 2025-22 as amended, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor of the bill as amended, it's 2025-22, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Looks like it's 39-4-0 against. Mr. Cooper?
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Roten, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Druffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Ashford, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Childs, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
Okay, 39-4-0 against on 2025-22 as amended on third reading. Any changes to that? Motion is approved. We're on item number 36, BL 2025-29 by Councilmember Pulley. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from SDR to SP zoning for a portion of property located at 4004 Hillsborough Pike. It's 345 feet south of Richard Jones Road within the Green Hills Urban Design Overlay District. 0.13 acres, permit an animal boarding facility, dog kennel, and other uses permitted in SDR zoning. Councilmember Pulley, you're recognized.
Hey, Mr. Vice Mayor, committee reports, please.
All right, Planning Zoning, Councilmember Murphy.
Thank you. We move to defer this one meeting, 17 in favor, 0 against.
All right, Councilmember Pulley, you're recognized.
I would move to defer this bill one meeting.
Okay, the motion is to defer one meeting, properly seconded. Any discussion on the deferral motion? Seeing none. All those in favor of the deferral motion for one meeting say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, no. Looks like it's a 39-0. Mr. Cooper?
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Roten, Syracuse, Wells, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Druffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Ashford, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Childs, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right, so it's 39-4-0 against for a deferral for one meeting. Any changes to that? All right, motion is adopted. We're now on item number 41. This is BL 2020-569 by Councilmember O'Connell. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing IR to SP zoning for property located at 1414 3rd Avenue North. It's approximately 100 feet north of Taylor Street, 0.95 acres to permit a mixed-use development. Councilmember O'Connell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move to defer one meeting with a brief explanation.
Okay, can I get a committee report first?
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Councilmember
Yes,
Murphy? All right, thank you. Councilmember Murphy, what was the committee report?
We did move to approve this, 17 in favor, 0 against.
All right, back to you, Councilmember O'Connell.
Thank you, Mr. President. And per the committee report, I actually received a request from the applicant between committee and the meeting requesting one meeting deferral for a final community meeting, and I am happy to give them the space to do that. So I would request colleagues support the deferral. Thank you.
All right, so the Councilmember O'Connell has moved to defer. Is it one meeting? Is that what you need? Mm-hmm. All right, so one meeting, properly seconded. Any discussion on the deferral motion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of the deferral motion for one meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All right, opposed, no. Looks like it's 39-0. Mr. Cooper?
Voting aye. Mendez, Hurt, Allen, Glover, Suara, Toombs, Gamble, Swope, Parker, Withers, Benedict, Van Reese, Hancock, Young, Hager, Evans, Bradford, Broughton, Syracuse, Welsh, Sledge, Cash, O'Connell, Roberts, Taylor, Hauser, Druffel, Murphy, Pulley, Johnston, Nash, Richard, Porterfield, Sepulveda, Rutherford, Stiles, Lee, Henderson, and Rosenberg.
All right, that's 39-4, 0 against. Any changes on that? Motion to defer one meeting passes. Mr. Cooper, I think that's it. I'm just checking. We got it?
That is it, Vice Mayor. I would note that Councilmember Henderson cut out during the vote on the previous question, and she wanted it noted that she was voting aye. She just couldn't be heard on the vote. So we can change that vote to reflect that there were 12 voting in favor of that motion.
That was in favor of the motion to have a public
hearing. Public hearing, I'm sorry, yes.
That's right. Okay. All right. So let the record be noted. One thing before I ask for a motion to adjourn, please mute before you, if you stay on, because Mr. Nolan is right after you, and we'd like to hear from Mr. Nolan and not you all at this point. All right. So please make sure if you stay on any period of time, make sure you just mute. All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I hear a motion to adjourn, properly second. All those in favor say aye.
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 No, we stand adjourned.
Aye.
Mr. Cooper, we don't need you at this point, do we?
Aye.
Good. All right. So we stand adjourned. Remember to mute your microphones. Thank you. You all be safe.
And so the council has concluded what would look like on the clock about a 3-hour plus meeting, but actually it's closer to 2.5, primarily because the council itself actually started about a half hour late because the committee meetings ran long. That's because all the committee meetings were held tonight right before the meeting instead of on Monday, because Monday was a holiday. And so we ran a little bit long doing that. Actually, the council probably would have gotten done in well less than 2 hours, but they got a little hung up on a debate over a shared infrastructure project that was on second reading. Council member decided he wanted to pass it on second reading, then have a public hearing. This was out in Councilman Parker's district. Some council members didn't like that idea, so after some debate, they finally decided not to do the public hearing and did go ahead and pass it on second reading and send it back to committees. Council had a relatively light agenda tonight. They approved 2 requests from the National Electric Service, totaling $195 million. That would let them go ahead with bond financing for improvements to NES's electric system. NES can't issue bonds without permission of the Metro Council. Those bonds will be used to pay solely, we paid solely back from NES revenues and will not be an obligation of Metro government to pay them back. Also, a resolution tonight was approved to allow an intergovernmental agreement to allow Metro Police to join state and other local police departments in Tennessee to participate in the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. That will help them be able to access resources from there. Council also approved a resolution recognizing January as Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month, as well as a resolution honoring the memory of the 500+ Nashvillians who have lost their lives due to COVID-19. This is part of a national memorial going on right now. It's also being led out of Washington with the change in the new administrations and the new inauguration of Joe Biden as president tomorrow. Council also was not able to act tonight on a resolution condemning the violence in Washington with the takeover of the U.S. Capitol and the riot back on January 6th. There were 3 objections to that. This bill was late filed because the filing deadline for that was actually sometime last week. Bill will come back again at the next meeting of the council on February 2nd. Council also tonight deferred 2 bills that would concern the city's role in providing long-term care services. This is in the wake of the Bordeaux facility closing in recent weeks. This would particularly concern changes in the law so that the council would have a larger role if the J.B. Knowles Assisted Living Facility is going to be changed, or for that, the council also wants to have a long-term plan for that facility. Council also deferred action tonight on a bill that seems to have strong support to restrict construction noise in or near residential areas. The council recently set some time limits on that, but now wants to come back and change them a little bit more to a different time and make them apply on all weekends and throughout the year, not just during different times of the year. Apparently some businesses and some labor groups want to have some more discussion about that, so the bill was deferred for one meeting. Another piece of legislation that seemed to be promoting the quality of life bill was also approved. It would lower the speed limit on on Collector and Major Streets in the Urban Services District. They've taken it down from 30 miles an hour to 25 miles an hour. Actually, the debate went on for quite a while, but not because anybody was opposed to it, but primarily because people who have a lot of the General Services District residents in their area want to have that sort of thing in their area too. Those who want to push this forward want to go a little bit slowly because not all the streets in either the Urban Service or the General Services District will fit with having lower speed limits, but Council went ahead and decided to do that right now. One of the bill the Council passed on first reading tonight will create a special commission to review and investigate circumstances and responses pertaining to the Christmas Day bombing on 2nd Avenue. That commission would go for about a year once it's approved to make it and have that much time to make its recommendations back regarding public safety improvements. Council is now in recess until it meets again the first Tuesday in February. That's February 2nd on Groundhog Day. We promise not to try to repeat anything on that. But at this point, that's when the Council will meet. We're back here at that time to provide live coverage of the meeting again. Until then, we say good night virtually from the Metro Nashville Network. Tonight's meeting of the Metropolitan Nashville and Davidson County Council has come to you by live remote. It's been a public affairs presentation of the Metro Nashville Network.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.net.